with Anita. She's got some updated stuff on the ambulance for us.
Okay. So I'll give, I got you a copy of this so you can see what I'm talking about. I was more prepared. I'm learning. Okay.
This is the agreement with Enosburg?
Yes.
Almost. All right, good. Scott, I got copies of it already.
Okay, so we met with Enosburg and we came up with the agreement. This is for the uncovered, if we have uncovered shifts. We're good for this weekend. Joey and Tim have been stepping up and picking up these shifts.
Thank you.
This coming weekend, we're going to be in charge.
Yeah.
My birthday weekend.
It's your birthday?
My birthday weekend around your house.
I'll make you cake if you come in.
My kid's coming over.
So,
Okay.
anyway, this needs to be approved. Enosburg has this and they're also reviewing it tonight. So we have it, the agreement in writing.
Okay.
You want me to explain that a little bit to them so they?
Okay, well, it's on here, what they're gonna do, because when we went into the meeting, their initial response is they were gonna charge us $600 per shift.
No.
Yeah, which,
Yeah.
You mean every shift is not reciprocal?
No,
right,
not
no,
still
no,
reciprocal?
No, if we have a unit in service, then it's the mutual agreement.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, when we don't have one.
So when we
Gotcha.
don't have
We don't
a
have
unit
any
in
coverage.
service.
Yeah.
If they have to
But-
come here for,
Right.
Yeah.
for mutual aid, then we won't be
wash.
billed. It's a
Right.
wash, as if we
Right.
would go to Enosburg for mutual aid. But if we don't have
Then
a
we pay.
shift put together, and
Yes.
people who are willing to work that
Oh,
day,
makes sense.
then
Yes, they have to keep one on.
they're gonna have to keep a crew on for us.
But the
Okay.
good part about it is when we established a good rapport with them,
Yeah.
and they're only gonna charge us $25 per person per hour for when they go out on calls.
If they get called out.
What's the usual run hours?
2 to 3.
So $50.
2 hours usually, so
Better
it's gonna be
than
Yeah.
$100, yeah.
Well, it'd be about $50 an hour, so.
Right.
It's about
Yeah.
2 hours.
Oh,
for
two
a
people.
person.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
two people, yes.
Still a better deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, much better
Yeah, they
deal.
were pretty fair about it.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
So
I think
this-
they wanted
yeah.
to help us out.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one needs to be approved by the select board.
Yeah, I think we need to sign
Yeah.
that
I
tonight.
think that
I'll
we
make a
could-
motion, we accept the ambulance agreement with Enosburg.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, where do you want
This
to
is,
sign?
this will be the
Okay. You
one
want us all
to
to
sign.
Yeah, that'll be
You
the
start
original.
That one I'll keep in. Okay.
And hopefully that won't
There
be
we go.
until
It's done.
To get our full crew up, right?
end of
Oh,
the
wait a minute,
summer.
that's a,
Yeah.
Yeah, this select board's right down here.
where is it?
Right on,
That ain't.
that one, that's just a show.
Oh, okay, I'm
This
sorry.
is
I was
the,
looking at mine.
yeah,
This
this
is
is
just
the
our copies.
keeper.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
And I was asked to do up a service agreement for Josh for his job
Yes.
description.
Where's
Is
that?
that here?
It's not, it might be the last page.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the last page.
You mind reading that?
What's that?
Can you read that, please?
I can read this, yeah. I'm just waiting for everyone to.
This is you're calling this a service agreement, not a job description.
Right, because it's volunteer.
Well, I don't see a volunteer at $3,500. That's volunteer.
Don't want to pay, well, it would be part-time
stipend.
anyway if it was, but,
Okay,
okay, so.
Yeah, it's a stipend, not a.
Yeah, it's not
It's
a pay, it's a
stipend.
stipend.
Yeah.
okay.
If I put it was compensation, is that okay? I can change that if you want.
No, I think that's good. I don't think,
Okay. So the compensation it gets us is for $3,500 a year for the service between January 1st and December 31st.
What year? Which January?
That's for each,
But he's
Just put the year put in.
already started. Right.
yes. And the reason he says that it calculates to be $291.67 to pay it on a monthly basis. So that he does, so for the year, this is for the calendar year January to December is what it's
because
saying.
he didn't start doing it until.
So,
I know, that's
Right.
what my problem is here.
that's why we said that's
Has
for
he
service
started,
between,
he
yeah.
started being paid in whatever the date was,
Right.
April?
So so I should maybe
But for
make
year one, it
something.
won't be $3,500.
Oh, I know,
Right.
it'll be calculated
Prorated.
at 291, so he's being paid
67.
now.
Yeah.
And this will be,
At 291,
January, okay.
yeah. He only gets paid for when he's working.
does he get
which-
paid monthly?
We were talking, he probably should get paid on a monthly basis.
Okay,
There's a 6-month probationary period for this position.
it's done in October, right?
Job description is the team leader will be responsible to fulfill and oversee the following duties. Be truck maintenance, which would include all fluids, including the DEF will be checked on a weekly basis.
What's DEF? I'm sorry.
DEF is,
Diesel emission fluid, it's an additive that's gotta go in.
Okay, you know I don't know that stuff.
It's an additive that's gotta go in now with diesel trucks.
Emissions.
Garbage the government. can
Keep
help.
emissions down.
Yeah, got it. I just wanna know what it's
State
good
laws.
for.
and it's mandatory.
Yeah,
Order supplies needed to replace what was used, which the order would be given to me. Order and replace windshield wipers when needed, schedule truck maintenance and repair when needed, tire change, oil change, mechanical repairs, etc. And trucks are to be cleaned inside and out regularly,
what is regularly to you?
every time.
Every time it's used or
Yeah,
weekly?
every use.
Well,
Let's put that in
It
there.
should be, those trucks should be cleaned at the end of each shift, I believe.
you
By
gotta-
him or by the operator
He's by the operator.
of the
But
vehicle?
he's supposed to be overseeing.
He's supposed to oversee
that
to make
everybody's
sure,
doing it.
yes.
Okay, so let's say
Oversee.
after each,
Can I borrow this?
yep, because if, I want it specific.
No, that's fine.
After each usage.
After each what?
After every
No,
run.
at the end of each shift usually, right?
End of each
Because
shift.
Most ambulance services is when the shift ends. So like
Okay.
if you're on a 12-hour shift, at the end of the 12-hour, your truck should be clean. for
That sounds good to me. End of shift. I just want it written,
Shift.
so there's no question about it.
If I'll put he shall
Well, it needs to be overseen. It's not like he's gotta do it.
right.
Oversee the cleaning of trucks at the end of
Yeah.
each shift. See, cleaning of trucks after each shift. Or not trucks,
Just put
Ambulance.
ambulances.
They are trucks, but yeah.
at the end of each shift, okay.
Okay. And they put ambulance supplies, it needs to maintain the ambulance supplies by restocking and checking for outdated items. Create a list of items that need to be reordered by assuring that we have a designated number on hand and submit the list to the director for ordering. Ambulance building, report damaged or broken building equipment or any other needed building repairs to the director. Another responsibility would assist with scheduling the RAS crew to fill all shifts, oversee training for certificate compliance, orchestrate fundraising events.
What does that mean?
When he came in for his interview, he actually had all these ideas for fundraising,
Okay.
and we're like,
Yeah.
well, that was part of the hire.
Okay, the only
makes
thing I
mention
want
anything,
to
right?
happen is that no money is collected by any individual ambulance service member, that any money that is raised, Anita needs to be in charge of.
Yes.
No, none of this going to stores and saying, give me a donation or anything like that, all right? I mean, is that
But
okay with everybody?
orchestrate fundraising events with the director.
Yes.
Yes. You should be in charge of all monies.
Okay, so I'll make these changes.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Question?
It's up to him.
Would it be worth it to put in there that, I know in a lot of other towns where the administration parts, the administration helps backfill most empty shifts. Like Enosburg's director, if there's an empty shift, he's gonna step in. And I know with my full-time job, if I get something that bangs out at the last minute, my life ends, I go to work.
Well, isn't that what you're planning to do?
But I'm saying Josh being part of the
Oh.
administration.
I
I think we
think
could look
this
at that
falls
one.
short of administration.
But I think we could look at that when, I mean,
I'm just.
he
throwing
is
it out there.
filling, what, is it like 6 shifts, 5,
One
6,
week
7
was
shifts?
4 weeks, and it was
I mean,
6, and then 7,
Yeah.
and 6, and 7.
I think everybody's
throughout the month.
helping quite
Yeah.
a bit, but yeah, I see your point. When we had,
Yeah.
if we had 12 people, it would be different, but
Right.
Alright.
we got 5 or 6.
Just a little shorthanded.
Okay, is there anything else anyone wants to?
I had a question up above, but I've forgotten it now.
Okay, I did too.
So,
So is this being done? He's been on the job
That's
since
why this
April,
is-
May, June. So all of these tasks, are they being done?
No.
No.
He's done a couple things, kind of,
Jimmy did the.
Let's give him some more money.
Jimmy's done all the ordering
Yeah.
for the supplies for the trucks.
yeah.
The other night, I got back at 10:30 from the district meeting, and I had to go for all the new stuff that came in, that was in the supply room, in the trucks that were, because we had new
Yes.
stuff in the trucks.
And I had asked him to stop the trucks.
Okay.
When's your monthly ambulance meeting, at the end of this month?
The 24th, yeah, it's the third,
24th.
the fourth Monday.
So how are we gonna
Yeah.
monitor this, and make sure that if it's not being done, how are we gonna make sure it's being done?
I need to go down and check, or I get feedback.
From
Well, that's
other
what I
people.
would suggest at your meeting on the 24th. I
Yeah.
mean, get feedback from everybody and
And what happens if it's not being done?
He doesn't get a stipend.
Okay. And he will sign this is for him to sign?
Yes, once I get it corrected. Now, when I get this corrected, do I need to bring it for review again?
I don't think so.
No.
It's not,
no, I'm good with it.
Go with the changes we're making now.
okay,
Yeah. The only thing we added was that sentence, right? Anything
yeah,
else?
oversee the cleaning of the
Of the ambulance
ambulance.
at the end of each shift.
Were we gonna try to do a fundraiser or something in the near future for some new
Yes.
radios?
Yeah, because we are desperately in need of some more radios. We're already one short. I'm gonna need one, and actually someone else will need one. But I wanted to do, they're $577 a piece. Right now, I'd like to order 2 radios, because we do need to have them. And what I wanted to do, if I can get some help, actually, I'd like to start an ambulance committee, for one thing. I mean, with my EMT class going on, that's requiring a lot of my time. And,
That
so I'm,
always used to be one.
yes. Or they did used to have one years ago.
Until the knock shift over.
And I got a couple people that I know, it's like, no one on the ambulance crew can be on it.
Yeah,
Terry and, I think it was Joyce.
Terry
Were
Dutro.
interested, yeah.
yeah.
Not Terry, Terry,
Terry the nurse, Terry,
Leonard.
Leonard. Terry Leonard was interested in it.
yeah.
Because what I'd like to do to help pay for these radios, if we can get some of the local businesses to donate gift certificates, we could raffle them off. I mean, I'll work the 4th of July and have a table to have
Have
money
a
to go towards.
50-50 too, also. A couple people could run
Yeah.
some.
We could do, or we could just do raffle tickets, there's a 50-50, being on short notice, that might be a better option,
People like money.
Yeah,
yeah.
they do.
How does that sound? But
Whatever
help
you
pay for
think.
these,
Whatever you think.
okay, cause I mean, I'd like to do that because I think that could at least help pay for some of these radios we have.
Yep.
We've got quite a few expenses because there's a lot of.
You need 2 radios or something?
Yeah, we're gonna have to have 2 right now and more in the future, we'll see what,
Do they do the alumni, the banquet at the?
Yeah, this might be
still?
the last one, but we could sell some tickets there
That'd be a
maybe.
good place to go to sell some tickets.
Because that's that weekend. Get somebody to just go around and do it.
okay, we can discuss that a little more.
Yeah.
I gotta find out where to buy raffle tickets, I've never done it before.
I may have some in my office.
Okay,
If not, I know I can just like send them
Well,
away.
I think I got those that divide and.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
I had some anyway.
Oh, and another good note, hopefully a good note, is I went to my class today, and the class, some people didn't show up. And Pat Malone, who's in charge of that, told me if I want to bring someone tomorrow, they'll put him in. And I had
What kind
contact,
of class was it? that
the
you went?
EMT
Oh,
class.
the EMT class.
The one at UVM.
Yes, where I'm
Oh, you
attending.
started that?
Yes, I started today, and I'll be in EMT by the end of July.
Good.
Instead of waiting, because the next classes aren't till September, but they're stretched out over 4 months.
Right.
So.
Is there anybody you can take?
Yes.
Oh, good.
The oldest DeWar boy wants to be an EMT. He approached me Sunday and said, "Can you get
Caleb? See the oldest?
the 18-year-old? He's
I didn't
18.
know.
He's the only one old enough for it
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
okay.
But
He's only 16.
yeah. So there's so many of them, I keep forgetting their first names. But anyway, but I can pick him up tomorrow because he has to attend every class. I'm gonna go talk to him after this meeting.
So we're paying for him.
Yes, but the district meeting I went to, they're going to pay for 50% of anyone we send to class, up to 4 people.
Good.
Yeah.
So he'll be an EMT at the end of July too.
Yes, and we can study together and he can
So
ride with
that's
me.
another new person on ambulance.
What's his
Right.
last name?
Dewar, DEWAR.
They're the ones that bought.
They bought
parents
21
bought
Elm
it.
Avenue,
Yes, they
they
each
got
have some
13
on their
kids. They got 13 kids.
Yeah. The only issue is that you needed the BLS, which I don't have my certificate yet, and it was
Yeah.
supposed to be done by this week. And Andy can't do it until probably next Thursday. So I sent Pat Malone an email, because I don't have his phone number's not listed. But I sent him an email to see if they could put an extension on that. I'm gonna bring him tomorrow anyway.
So he's gonna be a new member of the ambulance.
He would be a new member of the ambulance.
I won't put
don't
his
have
name
any
in right now.
Okay, I'll-
No, what
yeah.
about one of the other girls? There was a couple other people that were interested.
Reached out to them and they didn't reply back, and I think,
Okay.
it's because it's too short of a notice and they do work.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he's willing to do it,
Yeah,
you better get him on board.
right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I'm gonna bring him whether,
He's homeschooled, he can leave anytime he wants to go on ambulance.
well, their school year's done anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean
Yeah.
in
Oh, yeah.
the year, yeah.
Yeah, no, he really,
Well,
I talked to
he's
him.
18, right?
Yeah.
He's 18, yep, I asked him, I said, the age, and he said, no, 18's good.
Did you ever check with the insurance company on being able to drive?
For the age,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
18 or 21.
I'd asked him,
Michael,
Alan, I
sign in,
didn't get a
please.
reply back, but I'll follow up on that.
Yeah. He might be a stipulation on that.
I think it's 18. Do you-
When I joined, it was 20 or 21.
Yeah, so I was thinking 21,
Age
but
for driving.
I don't know for sure.
Do they cut it off when you get too old?
I wish they would.
I drive, I have to look at blood.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for me?
So do we have to vote on this or just, it's fine, right?
Yeah, I
So,
think that's fine.
Nope, I think we're good.
sign. And I keep a list of all agreements, so give me a copy when it's signed.
I will.
So I have it on my desk.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
will. There you go. And thank you.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
Oh, can I ask one other, just quick question? At the end of Elm Avenue, when we had all the brush, there's a whole bunch of limbs and brush down there, and it's getting pretty big, and there's not gonna be any place to push snow. I didn't know if someone could do something
In
about
front of
that.
somebody's house.
No, it's at the end of Elm Street Extension.
There's an
Push the
Elm
snow.
Street extension.
On the end, it's down next to my house, that's
Oh,
Elm
down
Street
next to your
Extension.
house.
Yeah, but there's a big pile of brush there, and the neighbor said something, I'm gonna see if I can get a burn permit to there. I said, you're not burning there, it's gonna come in my house. But anyway, there is an awful lot of brush there. If you find any painted wood, it's not what I put there, it was what the neighbor put there. I just put the only limbs.
Is it out by the road?
No, it's at the end of Elm Street.
Down on the end by
Yeah,
the
where they
town.
push the snow in the winter. And it's just, there's quite a bit there, I was just,
She's nervous, she'll unburn if there's going to burn her house.
I said, he goes, well, if I get a permit, it'll override what you think. I said, don't bet on that. But
They won't let him have a permit to burn down.
Andy's lawn takes care of the permits.
They won't let him burn
Not
down.
there.
But I just wanted to give you a heads up on
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John,
Which one's first? I don't remember.
review board.
DRB.
Review board. Rowena's gonna join me on that.
Who is? Rowena?
Rowena.
Okay, Rowena and John. This is DRB.
Thank you.
Well, one of the first things we'll talk about is that it's the time to reappoint the members of the team. And for a long period of time now, we have difficulty getting enough people. And so there's either we can try to continue with a 7, or the bylaws require a minimum of 3, but not more than 9. So it's up to you, your board, if we shrink the board down to 5 people. Or I asked Andy, would he join, and he said he would.
This Andy?
This Andy. So it's up to you.
That's not one of the conflicts, right?
No,
He's on
because
the
Jock's
board.
on it.
You can be on any board you want.
No, there's one you can't. I
The
can't think of
zoning
it is.
administrator cannot be
Yeah,
the
I-
development review board.
Yeah, there's one other. Not DRB.
If they need an extra person, I don't mind doing it.
So you're requesting to change it less, or
Yes.
Well,
what is it now, 7?
it's 7 now.
Yeah.
The minimum is 3, maximum is 9, but it's up to the select board to decide how many.
But we have 7 positions with 1 vacancy that we haven't been able to fill.
So now you wanna keep it at 7, because
Yeah.
you've only got one, and Andy's
We can
gonna,
put it less because none of them show up half the time.
you go?
Yes, they do.
Yes, he's always there.
So we're talking about the planning commission now?
No,
DRB,
that's a different story.
Development review board?
yes.
I didn't know we're talking about this.
Yes.
Thank you, I missed that.
So, is somebody gonna, what are we doing?
It's up to
Oh, we
you.
need to reappoint all these people with their terms.
Right. You continuously have had 6 people, right along?
Well, we've had
Lately,
7 until we had the one open position, because we have to have
Did
an odd
somebody
number.
quit, or did somebody?
Harold
passed
Foot
away.
passed
Oh, Harold passed away.
Okay, so you need 5 or 7, okay, so you
Right.
need odd numbers.
But if you've got 4, and then you've got Andy, you've got enough, you don't wanna cut it if you have 7.
No, if
Right.
Andy's willing to do it,
Oh,
we
okay.
would have 7.
Okay.
Okay, I guess that's off the board
We'd
then.
have to appoint him
Yes.
first, okay.
I can't make a motion.
I know.
I'll make a
Just wait.
motion to appoint Andy to the DRB.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye. Andy abstained,
Yep.
thought so. Appoint Andy,
There, you're in.
and then Chuck. Second.
day. More duty, same day.
So then we need to get these for,
I'll make a motion to.
But wait a
appoint-
minute, is it time? Is this for July?
July
Yeah,
first.
these are July, yes.
Yeah, okay. Andy made the motion.
I'll
to-
make a motion to appoint Jacques for a 3-year term.
You wanna do, you can do the whole
do all
row
of
if you want,
Uh,
unless you got a problem.
Well, we'll do his first because he can't vote,
Yeah,
right?
you're right, you're right.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now I'll make a motion to appoint Valerie Martell for 3-year term, Rowena Brown for a 2-year term, Heather Skilling for,
Oh, we're all.
she's gonna be a 2-year term
But we
now.
can cross
because-
that part out.
Right,
I'll second
she's
it.
not an alternate.
No.
no,
She's
Gotcha.
on.
All those in favor say aye.
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 And your turn, your time is up too.
Yes.
yep.
I'll make a motion for John Libby to be 3-year term of zoning administrator.
I'll second it.
Oh, I should say no.
No, go. Too late.
Yeah, but John, you're doing a good job.
It's not an easy
The
job.
more people that are mad at you, the better you're
Yeah.
doing.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Fee change.
Okay, on the next page, I put our old fee, we talked about this at the planning the other night. The state recording fee is going up to $50 a page starting July 1st, so you need to make a change there.
We need
So we need to make that 50?
No, we have
15.
on that.
Oh.
15.
15.
Down
It's
below.
10 now.
Oh, okay.
The 10 is going up to
50,
15.
I was looking at the top, okay.
And then the certified mail probably should be increased because it costs $6.30 to mail a certified letter now.
What do we do now? What did we do before?
Well, $4
It's on that four.
if they had more than 6.
Right, we're starting right off the get-go this time, certified letter they pay immediately.
It's on the other.
We don't,
You
no
started-
more
you started
6.
from the bottom.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we want 6:30?
Yeah, well, why are we paying for the first 5?
We're not,
6?
we're taking that out.
We were, so it's up to you guys because you set the fees
Yeah.
for
Okay,
this.
I just talked myself into being confused. What are you talking about?
Right here, certified
it'd be-
mail.
I got it.
Okay.
You want it to go from 4 to 6:30?
Yes.
Yes.
I was right.
First time
I was
out.
wrong.
For all of them, starting with the first one, because right there
If
is
you
where.
see, it says exceeds 6
Says-
times. They
You're
never
gonna
got
send
charged.
somebody certified mail 6 times?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
no, well, depend,
I'm gonna go to their house and hand it to them.
well, you have, if you,
But for
every
right now, the
abutter,
town's been paying for it. If we have to send someone 6 letters about the same issue, we pay for it every letter.
Yeah.
correct?
Until the 7th.
Well,
And then who pays?
Then we
or
charge
you
them.
have a, if
We pay the
you,
lawyer.
or if you have a hearing, and I'm gonna use that list as an example, we have to send out a letter, he has to send out a certified letter to every abutter, and there's
Right.
what, 30 of them?
well, like when we just did the Atlas
Yeah.
project land, well, there's 20-some abutters to that, so they all had to get a certified letter
For $6.
So the first 6, the town
paid
picked up.
for.
And then,
But then we charged them $4 for all the rest of them, but still we lost money on that because
On everything.
the post office charged $6.30.
Who are you charging?
The person that makes the applicant.
The applicant
Okay.
that puts in further,
You're gonna charge them for all of those letters if you had to?
yes,
Okay,
it'll become part of this.
It becomes part of the permit.
okay, I just wanna get it right in the minutes.
I can't vote on it, right?
Why?
Because I was on planning that developed it. So I have to abstain from it.
Well, are we gonna vote on the whole thing at once, Andy, or?
Yeah,
No
so.
sense going piece by piece.
I think we should take the in excess of 6 out of there, but,
Yes, we agree. No,
okay,
We agree,
I'm crossing
Sandy.
that out.
So we're crossing that out.
And then you gotta raise that $4 to, is it, you said
6:30.
6:30 now.
that's what
About
the-
650.
Yeah, why don't we make it 20 cents every time?
Okay,
Jeez.
I'm in for money.
Why don't you say, raise it to the price of what the post office charges, because just in case they go up again, and very soon,
Going rate.
follow.
Good idea, Jack. We didn't
Charge
think
them
of that.
20 and then we'll know we're always be
That's what I
good.
say, what?
You'll be set till 2025.
Well, decide, so I can write it down.
Oh, I don't care, whatever you decide, but we shouldn't be losing money on it.
No.
No.
Well, 650 we're making.
Yeah, and we can bring this back too. If
Yeah.
it goes up, we can bring it
Okay.
back. See, we've already voted on it at our
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, then I'll redo this page.
Okay.
Any more
So is that
changes?
it?
No,
That was it.
I think the rest of them are okay. Unless you feel some of them are not enough.
Residential building, commercial.
Because all those fees are gonna have $15 added to it for the recording fee.
Correct.
Right. Sign. It's okay to me, I don't know.
I'll make a motion to accept the fee changes for zoning.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 I abstain.
I got
Well, if you're on the board next, we won't have enough people to vote.
Yeah,
Still got 3.
No, we'd have 2.
no, he's,
No, I'm not on
he's
DRB.
He's going DRB.
She's planning.
They're on planning.
We're on planning. Which half?
Okay. You abstain.
Because I
And
don't.
Jack-
Yeah, I got it. Jock abstained. I
Because
don't have
he's
to say
up on-
why, I just have to say they.
Okay.
But now, are we still on?
I'm still on zoning.
Okay.
I received this email from the lawyer regarding the East Richford situation,
Yeah.
and he thinks we should go up and check and see what's behind that fence.
Thank you.
And then he wants to know, does the town want to fine?
Yes.
Because he realizes she doesn't have any money,
Difficult to get blood out of a stone, it says.
but, you'd have to put a lien
Put a
on the
lien on our
property.
house. We paid over $2,000 in lawyer fees
I know.
to get the yard cleaned up.
And they put a fence in front of it and moved the junk to somebody else
But
and
they moved the junk
accumulated
up the
more.
hill,
Yeah, right next, yeah,
next to you.
yeah,
You can't vote.
no.
I went by there the other day, like you say, they cleaned the driveway, but it's up the road.
Is that the
And I
road?
tried to peek around the fence, but I want to meet that dog. She didn't have a dog when we went up unexpectedly. She must have gotten it after we left.
She did. He drove away in the truck.
Well, you're pretty mean.
I think that we should, I mean, it cost us how much was it?
$2,000 the
Plus?
Plus,
lawyer cost.
Well, we're never gonna get that.
oh, we need to, and then it needs to go into a lien on
He
the
wants to know,
house.
the attorney wants to know what type of fine you would like.
The
Our
fine
money
should
back.
be the cost of our attorney fees.
Yeah,
You're not gonna get it, so you're gonna have to put a lien on the house. And then we're not gonna get anything till they sell the house, and they won't, so. But just think about it a minute. Maybe we could get less money. And get some.
well, we could put in a letter for the $2,000 to contact us and make some type of agreement. So that way they have to get in contact with us and we can set some type of
I
agreement.
think it's
with their-
gone beyond that,
their
hasn't it?
payment
When you
plan.
talk to the lawyer, hasn't it already gone beyond? It's
Yeah.
gone beyond us.
They've already had 2 court hearings,
They've already had
conferences
hearings,
on
so
it,
it's
yeah.
too late to come back to us. So
No, I meant to
what do
set
you
up a
think?
payment plan on
Oh,
the
to set up a
2,000.
payment plan.
Yes.
Yeah, not to come to us and try to,
No,
Negotiate
to set up a
No,
payment
you know how
plan.
that would go.
I would say we need to get our money back, and if they can contact us to set up a payment plan, if they can't afford it all at once.
They can call Alan, any payment plans.
There you go.
Alan. We don't do payment plans.
Perfect.
He does.
I mean,
He's the treasurer.
if every other person in Richford costs the town $2,000 to have to clean their yard up, I mean, can't allow that to happen.
No, we can't, that's why we have
We got a
to.
lot more to do. I've been riding around the back roads here. Whew. So what's your decision?
Well, my suggestion is that you get as much fine, because the court's gonna set the fine anyway in the end.
So, okay, so the court will set the fine, not.
But it could be a huge amount because she's been in violation for so long, and it's $200, it could be up to $200 every day. So, I mean, the fine could be huge.
But when we went there, we told her May 1st, if it wasn't cleaned up May 1st, we would start finding her, and it was, I mean, they did clean it up.
Yeah,
So the finding really, doesn't have to happen,
no.
okay? Because they have cleaned some. I think you should go and look behind the fence first. But if there's a fence around it, can't they have what they want?
No,
Oh,
you
okay.
can only have a certain amount of stuff behind the fence.
Okay.
Not more than 200
Well-
square feet.
But even if there's
Junk
nothing
cars.
behind the fence, how do we get our $2,000 back?
We don't.
The only way you could is to put a lien on the property, and if it's sold,
If it's sold, when it's sold, if it
Yeah.
didn't go for taxes or something.
yeah.
A
If
lien is-
it goes up for tax sale, that's $2,000 less than that we would have to pay to get the property.
Yeah,
I think we need to.
Well, I think you need to set an example.
Yeah,
yep, okay.
exactly.
I'm good with it.
I don't like this.
Well, but if you say the court has to set the fine, we can't really decide on anything as far as
Well,
money.
he wants to know how much fine you want.
Oh, so he can tell the judge?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
We want our fees back.
I would say.
Now you start.
Are we free to speak? Can we speak?
Are you a
Is there a
resident?
town ordinance? That's the town ordinance, is 200 square feet, John? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
$200 a day.
200
Square feet, yes, if it's enclosed and it can't
Oh.
be seen by.
We only have one of those right now in town?
Well, I'm
Oh,
sure
no,
there's a lot
no,
more.
this is one we have in court. We
Oh,
try
I
to
see.
take them, we try to do them one at a time.
Yeah, this has
We've
been a
got
couple of
two
years.
years with this
Yeah,
one person on the same
We give them a
property.
chance to clean up,
Right.
you know,
Yep.
several
That's
chances.
what we do.
Because we're
Where
gonna.
you,
I'm vice chair in Hardwick, have been for years.
yeah, that's
We
what you
usually
do.
try to get our legal fees back,
Yeah.
and we end up putting liens on things.
Yeah,
It's just a way to make sure that these guys.
they see we mean
We're taking
business.
care of these guys over here.
Right.
They're paying the
Right,
bill.
exactly.
Even though you
Exactly.
probably don't get your money.
Eventually, the town will get compensated for the money they spend.
Yeah,
That's
eventually,
wash,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
It's a very difficult situation.
Yes, it is.
In a rural town.
Yeah. Yeah, so we could put a lien on it, yeah.
Yeah, I think we
I think we
should.
need to.
I don't know, it's up to Andy if he's good.
Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing I can think of is that we don't want to encourage it to be ongoing, it's like she can't pay it, or and then it becomes, they don't pay it for 10 years and the house is sold, and then you get paid. I think there should be some interest as well as the fee, the fine, over the period of time. Be fair to the town.
Dan, how do you do it? Do you charge interest?
I believe they do charge interest.
As if a
Once-
like a
But
delinquent
again, that's something that'll be determined by the judge.
judge, right?
The
You're
judge
just
will
making a
approve it.
recommendation
Right.
of what the town wants.
Right.
We at least want to get our money back. and then
Exactly.
So tell him that, like,
they'll decide.
we want our money back.
My point is, I don't want, it's not, they procrastinate because there's no penalty or urgency to come up with what they're supposed to.
Well, they'll get it won't be
It'll be
from
from
us,
the
it'll
judge.
be from the judge.
Yeah.
They'll have to.
Yes, but then the town has to wait until they sell the property, but so there's no incentive for them to pay it off until they sell the property, so this way you can.
Right, the $2,000 is always just $2,000.
That's all I'm trying to say.
If there's interest on it, it would
Speaking
give
of
you a
term, it
little
sounds
more.
like it's an ongoing issue,
It is.
figuring it out. So the next time you go back to the judge and say, she's still, or the person still hasn't cleaned it up, that's when it'll start being $200 a day.
Right.
That'll be the judge's.
That'll be the
thing.
judge's
Yes.
idea. What
You're
I'm-
just looking for what you've already spent.
Right, but what I'm saying, yeah, if that's the way you're gonna go, just what you've already spent. But need to go up and look at it,
Yes.
because if it's not cleaned up,
It is
It's
cleaned
a-
up. I've driven by it.
I've driven by
John's
too, and I
driven
think
by
it's
it.
cleaned up, so
Yeah.
it should just be
Lot better
the
than
expenses
ours.
that we spent.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
3 dump truckloads of junk
I know.
in the front yard,
Yeah.
and now it's done.
If they just moved it to a different location, you'll have to start.
Well, we'll go to that location and we'll start it over again.
Process all
Yeah.
over again, which,
Right.
next time you won't be so lenient on the $200 a day thing.
That's right. Got that
Next
right.
time when you say May 1st.
Exactly.
It's May 1st,
It
yes.
starts clicking.
Right.
And we have a very identical situation.
Yeah, I think
And
most
it
towns
hasn't
do.
changed in 15 years.
I know.
And we keep
Okay.
going around the circle.
Yeah, it's very hard, very hard.
Okay, I think we're good.
So what's the final decision?
Okay,
Give me something I can write down.
I make a motion.
I'm gonna go up
Well, I don't know if you
to
need a
view the
motion.
property.
John's
again.
gonna view,
Okay.
John will view property.
Yep.
And then are we authorizing him to tell Michael Gahn that,
Yes.
okay, that we want our
Legal fee.
expenses, expenses, all of them.
All of them.
And place a mortgage
Lien,
lien on her property.
okay,
Until it's paid.
yeah, okay, that probably we should have a motion for
With
that.
interest though?
With, okay,
Accumulate interest.
with interest, well, that's what
Well,
you're
if
gonna
they
tell him, and then the judge will
Yeah.
have to
Right.
decide with interest. Okay, okay, so we probably should make a motion on that.
I make a motion.
Sherry motion. Second? I'll second, okay, go ahead, Scott.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, we'll get that taken care
Okay. That it for zoning?
Yes. Does someone want to go up with me? Andy?
I'll go.
Okay, I'll call, make her an appointment with her, and then I'll let you know.
of.
She likes
I'm
me.
not going this time, yeah, she likes him. I have an attitude, yeah, so I'll stay home.
John, did you want to talk about the station, railroad station?
Okay, at the planning, Mark Waterhouse brought up the condition of the railroad station. And I looked, Karen had, the previous zoning administrator had sent a letter of abandonment to them in 2015. But I could send them another letter and saying abandoned property either has to be maintained or removed.
Okay, that would be good.
Do you want me to do that?
I had somebody else say something to me about it the other day too.
That
Yeah.
beautiful.
Because the roof is beginning to cave in.
Yeah. I mean, it's too bad that they just went
I
sell it
wish
too.
somebody had kept it up, I know it's a historic piece. Yeah, I'd say
And
send them
maybe-
another letter, what are we gonna do though if they ignore us? Who owns it now, the not Canadian Pacific, who owns it?
Well, they're out of Bangor, Maine now, but it's called Quebec something, Quebec, Maine or something.
Can you send them a picture of it when you send out the letter to them?
Yeah.
And
They
that way
probably
they can
haven't
actually
seen it for a
see.
year.
That's what I'm thinking. They probably haven't seen it. And then maybe even mention if they put it up for sale, that maybe somebody
Do they pay
historical would
taxes
buy
on
it.
No,
No,
railroad.
railroad.
Doesn't pay tax.
And I don't think,
But it might be a
eyesore.
historical thing, and if it
I
is,
don't-
we could get a grant and have it fixed up and it'll look
Well,
nice
you
on
may
the
not
other
be
end.
able to just tear it down.
No, that's what I mean, it's
I'm not so
historic.
sure they can sell it either.
I don't think
But they
they can.
can. The one that has been sold.
We tried to buy it as a historical society 20 years ago before we got the station down here because it wasn't in such bad shape and they wouldn't or couldn't sell it because they might have a railroad again someday. Well, they aren't gonna use that building, I'll tell you that.
No, because Lisbon had sold the one they had in Lisbon, and then they turned around and bought it back with
Yeah.
grant money to put it back where it was and refurbish it, and it's beautiful.
But we tried
It's
to
one of
get
the
it
few buildings in
once.
town that's beautiful up
We
there.
tried to get it.
But
wonderful
maybe now
welcome
they'll
center.
sell it, maybe they'll sell it now.
Yeah, but now we don't want it. We have to put $1 million into it. Well, anyway, send them a letter and ask them what they're gonna do
Yeah,
about it,
okay.
right?
Yep,
Okay.
John will send a letter.
excellent. Thank you, John.
You want again, or is that it?
Getting out a beautification now.
You guys having fun? Like at home again?
As I'm sure everyone knows, we've had a lot of vandalism this spring and hope it's being curtailed.
It is trying.
And well, what I really wanted to come to ask for was when the beautification started, it was started by REACT when they had their full-time director, 35 years ago, I think. Because 32 years ago, Elaine Archambault and Margaret Larrabee came to me and asked me if I would do it.
And you're still doing it?
And I'm still doing it. In those days, I was only here in the summertime even. But the first trees they ever planted were on the School Street side of the post office, and they both died last summer and were cut down.
Yep.
So we'd like to, plant some trees back there again.
Are you gonna do those, I'm sorry, horrible crabapple trees that just are pretty for a minute?
Yeah.
And then fly
Well,
all over
see-
your cars?
We could see what we could find that wouldn't grow, too huge there.
Yeah.
But there's no power lines at that spot.
Okay.
I make a motion to do that. I don't let them do that. I hated cutting down the other trees. But they had to go. They were broken.
Yeah, they were
Bad.
both bad.
They were bad.
Got any ideas what you're gonna plant?
No, because I haven't really gone out to look.
Did you say in front of the post office?
No, in the side
On the
of
side.
School Street side.
Heading towards the dumpster for the
Yeah,
post office.
yeah.
But think what the Main Street would look like if none of those trees were there today.
So would you want 2 trees, or would you just want one bigger one between there, or?
You're the beautiful people. You think
What are you
that.
asking for the money for it, you mean?
No, we're just asking for permission.
Permission to plant.
Plant.
Okay with
I make a
me.
motion, yeah, I'm good with it.
Go for it.
Something on the line of a shrub rather than a tree? Something
No,
that
probably
doesn't get too
some-
overwhelming?
Well, some type of tree that doesn't grow
Doesn't
huge.
grow.
A smaller
huge,
tree.
Or spit all that
You got any
slimy
trees-
stuff out.
you got any trees in your woods, Scott, you wanna give away?
I could donate a couple. I got one spare maple, I might go.
You do?
What about an evergreen tree? No, I don't know. I don't know anything about trees.
Oh, and I also want to thank whoever fixed the fountain, because I talked to Daryl,
The
but
guy
he
said-
said he was going to do it, but he never got to it.
I'll tell you who it was. It was Kyle and Slim, right? No. Lance. Kyle and Lance. They worked on it. Yeah.
Because when at first there wasn't enough water to make the spouts
Right.
work at all.
They said there was a clog in it, right? They cleaned it out, and then there was something. I stopped, and they told me what it was. But of course, by now I forgot.
Back down to the right level now. For a while it was overflowing and now
Right.
it's
Yeah,
back down
they
where it
did a
should
good
be.
job.
Because you have to keep it cleaned out
That's
almost
what-
weekly or
yeah,
sometimes several times.
They were right in there,
Yeah.
opened it up, and yeah.
What kind of vandalism have we had, John?
I'm going to talk about that a little later. That's on my agenda.
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Okay,
2 trees?
2.
1 or 2?
1 or 2.
2 crab apple trees.
No. Oh my God, I cut them in my house. They got all over my car.
Couple of thorn apple, they wouldn't damage them.
Okay, that's fine.
Couple of cedars, then you can keep them trimmed.
Maybe the salt does havoc to a cedar.
Okay, you decide.
Couple of
Flower, something that flowers and smells nice.
Yeah, that's what we had. And
It
then
doesn't make a mess.
doesn't matter. So Scott and Danny are gonna speak on Vasa, or just,
I'll start off,
okay. We need, I gotta take minutes and I can't do it if you're talking.
just give a little bit of history of what, why they're here tonight. So a few months ago, Mark Carpenter had contacted me, wanted to know what he thought, what my thoughts were on opening some of the town roads or all the town roads up to side-by-sides and four-wheelers, ATVs. Wasn't really sure until, we talked about it a lot before we kind of came up with a plan. They've organized a few different meetings they've asked me to go to. They formed their own board. Scott's the president of the board. Mark's vice president. Randy, you are
Senior tourkit, trail coordinator.
Wait a minute, senior trail. What?
and
I want a job description.
yeah,
Amanda is the secretary.
Amanda's the secretary. Amanda Woods and
Treasurer, I'm sorry.
Amanda Woods is treasurer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write them down just so we know.
Amanda's the treasurer.
And Mark's the vice president?
Yeah.
Wendy's the secretary, correct?
Wendy who?
Exactly, Wendy Boyce.
Oh, I had her student. Wendy Germain. Yeah. She's the secretary? Okay. Emily is the-
And then from there, they contacted Danny, which I also, in the meantime, before all that had happened, I contacted Roger Langevin, the sheriff, and he recommended us or the town or these guys to contact Danny, but they had already in the loop somehow. I don't know how that worked, but got a hold of Danny.
What's your title?
I'm the executive director of the
Of
Vermont,
VASA?
the Vermont ATV Sportsmen Association.
Yep.
And then from there, we've had a few meetings, so to speak, and discussed, some different options of, benefits for the town, benefits that VASA offers, benefits of what these guys are willing to, to give back to the town. And I'll let them tell everybody a little bit more about what they're trying to do.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously what we're asking for is access to the roads in Richford. We were hoping to have a minimum of a certain level of roads for the main arteries in and out of town. So a lot of the surrounding towns around us have open trail systems that are VASA approved and overseen by VASA. And there's a lot of benefits come from VASA. So, they help repair our roads. If there's damage, signage, very well managed. They match us some money. Whatever we raise to put into some of our trails and road systems for whatever we need, if it's a culvert, they help match that with us. Is it $1 for $1?
Yeah, 50/50 on trail maintenance. Yeah.
Trail maintenance, okay, so they're behind us with that. So our goal would be our goal originally as a club, so we founded a club, we titled it Queen Lil's ATV Club. Yeah, so I'm sure you guys know the history on that. So we thought we reached deep into the archives and said, we're gonna go deep on this one. And
You ain't bringing back old times, are you?
Randy wasn't so sold at first, but maybe he's getting back comfortable now, but.
You own that land? That Queen Elizabeth's
Some of
on?
it, no, my brother-in-law does.
Oh, okay. I knew somebody in that.
Alan does, yeah.
Alan Jackson actually just bought that where the house was.
Yeah.
So our goal was to have a few main corridors, like I said, in and out of town, and we were going to title them trails as VASA trails, which means that we make it on the VASA maps, which are they come with your memberships, with your VASA memberships. So we kind of want to take it a step further. We organized the club so that we can maintain roads that will not be VASA, that may not be VASA, okay?
Right.
Which could be like, let's say, a dead-end road in the golf course or the Corliss Road, where it's not really an artery that gets you anywhere, but there's also ATV riders on that road that would like access off of it, okay? So if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So then you get some main arteries that we would call VASA. Maybe it's South Richford Road or River Street or whatever's getting us in and out of town, if you will, okay?
Can you ride on the rail trail? No.
No.
And that's solely due to anything that's built. So the Mississauga is the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's the state of Vermont owns that.
Right.
The majority of the money that maintains that is bike ped money, which is federal money that has an exclusion to ATV use.
Oh.
So it's
But
a money
snow
thing. It's
machines
a
can
money
go
thing.
on it.
Snowmobiles can't. They're not considered a wheeled vehicle. So, it's one of those things. What's happening in some of the other parts of the state is, and maybe in this end, definitely this end of the Mississauga, where it's not really being maintained that well by the state as a pedestrian trail. So this will change, and I can talk a little bit if you want.
No, keep going, yeah.
So I'll kind of back things up to who VASA is and what VASA does. So we're the State Association of ATV Clubs. I think we're up to, honestly, we've added like 3 or 4 this spring, so I think we're up around 22 clubs now. We have one in Reedsboro, which is Massachusetts, and we have one in Richford now, which is Canada. We have one in Alberg that's going to be coming online very soon, and we have one in Island Pond. So we've really reached out to all the corners of the state. What VASA does is they provide resources to your community. It doesn't matter to me whether ATVs are in Richford or not. What it matters to is Richford people. So what VASA does is through our funding, which is 90% of the red plate ATV plate for the state you have to have if you ride anywhere but your own property. 90% of that, as well as our trail access decal money, which is the VASA tag. All of that comes back to us and funds our programs. which are basically enforcement, education, trail maintenance. So every town has a little bit different idea of how they want to manage the use. A couple of the things that we really push hard is we push an ordinance. You need to have an ordinance. You need to have an ordinance that it requires a trail access decal, at least for the corridor trails. You can also have a town tag that will allow to use the other roads in your town. For residents that don't want to be part of the recreational trail system, but may want to ride from their house down to the store. So we have a mechanism.
Can I stop you because I have a question? I know I'll forget. Okay, so you're saying that some of these trails through here would be VASA trails?
Yes.
But then other trails could be open if
roads.
people agreed?
Well, that would be
So
our
we're
club
really talking
trails.
about
Those
roads.
would be your club.
Well, they could be, they're gonna be the club's responsibility. but they're really
All
gonna be
trails will be your responsibility.
all trails will be our responsibility,
Okay.
but we will not, VASA and the club don't promote every trail and every road in town.
Okay.
And the reason, I'll just touch base on that a bit. So when we've had a couple meetings, and it was one thing that, you know, we kind of all discussed, is if, I'm gonna pick on Mark, he lives over on the Corliss Road. Corliss Road is probably never gonna be a hub trail for VASA because it doesn't connect from one town to the other, you know. So if we only made 3 roads open to ATV use and open to VASA trails, well then it's still not that convenient for everyone else who lives in town who wants to get from Corliss Road to, let's say McAllister Road would probably be a main road for one of your trails, right?
McAllister, Gilmat, Wakeman Hill, all those roads.
Because you want to loop down through into Berkshire,
Well,
but
because the Woodard Neighborhood Road on the Berkshire side is a VASA trail,
Yeah.
so we're that's
wanna
what
get-
The actual
we're-
road itself.
Exactly, yes, these are the roads itself.
so if Mark's over on this side of town, or you know anyone, you know even people who live right in town, if they want to be able to get to that trail or to get to the store to get fuel, you know what we said. It made more sense to, you know, start there and see what, you know, if that was an option, and I think that's what you've kind of proposed.
How do you can't cross the roads, or can you cross?
Yes,
You
so-
can cross.
So this ordinance is definitely something that we
Is
were.
this your ordinance?
This is
No, that's
something that
yours.
we were, I wrote up.
That's
I'm
ours,
sorry.
yeah, that's ours.
I read it quickly, made some notes.
Good.
This is what we were distributing in 2007, 2009.
So that's where we got that?
That's where you got
Okay.
it. So we have a different one now. We didn't bring one tonight.
No, I just
Yeah, I
handed it
got it.
out to
Yeah,
everybody.
he did.
So that's a draft ordinance that we use now.
So you would get rid of that one and want this?
We would, but when I'm looking through it really quickly, it's not a lot of difference in here.
I didn't think so.
You know, updating the definition of an ATV, and number 4 in your old one, the statute actually says now that if you need a registration and a trail access decal if it's VASA trail. And so what that means is on our map, a VASA trail is what's on our map annually. So if you had a corridor trail, anyone that wasn't a resident
Right.
would need to have a trail access decal. Anyone that was a resident and chose just to purchase a Richford resident tag could ride any road that you wanted to open. And that way, it doesn't put the burden of wanting to be a recreational rider on the
Right.
individual that doesn't want to do it.
Do you
So it
have
gives an
to
option.
go through any landowners?
Hopefully, they will go through a lot of landowners relatively soon
What I'm
because
saying,
we
are
don't
you
promote
checking that out?
just.
Well, so it's the tough part for us as the club before we can manage that is that we need to know how far we can get on the road before I can go and see Jacques.
So we need
Because I
to
don't even
make
know if
that
I can
decision.
get
Stay off my land.
Exactly, right? So,
It's a chicken
Well,
and
we've had
egg.
that issue with the rail trail.
It's a
People
chicken and egg.
don't want it.
Yeah,
well, we wouldn't be requiring the rail trail because with the road
right. We're not
with the
gonna-
road
we're not gonna
access,
get
we
the
wouldn't
rail trail in.
require
But
that.
remember too, we're building the rail trail from the end of the rail trail ourselves.
Down here, yes.
So
That
that
wouldn't be accessible.
No, that wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be?
No.
Why do we have to go under the rules?
It's federal.
Oh, you mean it
Well, if
wouldn't
you're
be
using
accessible
taxpayer
because
money
there's
for
no
that,
place to
yeah.
access, I mean, that wouldn't be
They
any
couldn't
use to
use
you.
it. They legally couldn't use it because
rail
the
trail
trail's
can't
being
use.
made for walking and biking and
Yeah,
those type
but
of
we're
things.
making it, it's not the
With a
state.
federal grant.
With a
Yeah.
federal.
Yeah, but Bethany made that point that if it was federal money and it
Can't
wouldn't
do
be
it,
open.
yeah.
No, we won't be. And that's.
And we wouldn't need it.
You wouldn't need it
We wouldn't need
anyway.
it because Troy Street would be open.
Right,
Yeah, so, you know, so there's been quite a few changes in the last couple of years.
So we just plug
One of the
in.
one of the biggest ones was 2 years ago, V-Trans came to me and said, we need to issue you guys a master license agreement for highway uses connector trails, state highways. What was happening, as you all know, is there's certain areas where there's very heavy use on the state highway. And every district was handling it different. Some were looking the other way, some were saying no, some were saying go for it. And it put the state in a position where they didn't have deniability to it was occurring. So they didn't, you know, liability folks didn't want that. So we now have a master license agreement with V-Trans, and we have a process that does allow us to use short connectors of state highway.
With V-Trans.
With V-Trans. Through that process, we now have an application where the towns have to be in favor of it. So when it comes time for state highway, we can still cross at 90 degrees. That's by statute. We don't need permission to do that. However, we do need to report those now, again, because they're trying to get an inventory of the use and also have us accountable for the damage to the shoulders of the road. Which we do a fair amount of repair work now on that stuff, which is fine.
Yeah.
The other big thing in this ordinance I see that's different, and it's because of that license agreement, is we no longer use the shoulders of the road. When you're using a road, you travel in the travel lane and you behave like a motor vehicle. So it's a national thing. Riding on the shoulder but for a bunch of reasons. First of all, that's where all the damage occurs. That's where all the dust occurs if you're on a dirt road, because when the town chlorides their road, they chloride the travel portion. So if ATVs are tearing up the shoulder, it results in damage. It's also a safety issue. When somebody's on the shoulder, somebody thinks they can go by them. It's no different than a bicycle. A bicycle rides in the travel lane, not on the shoulder. And you have to, when you come up behind a bicycle, if it's not safe to go around them, you stay behind them. That's the law. Same would go for horses or ATVs or anything. So we basically put a whole bunch of perimeters around the use that are the same as every other motor vehicle. So that's a big one in here. You know, there's not a lot in here that is, nothing is wrong in here as far as I'm concerned. Number 11, about the repairing all costs incurred for damage to town roads caused by operation ATV. That's something that is fine if the town wants to put it in there, but essentially that's what VASA and the club do. They're responsible for that. And we don't have a reputation of not taking care of any of those things. What I can assure you of is that ATVs do not do a lot of long-term damage to your roads or pavement. You know, they're 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 pound, maybe 1,700, 1,800 pound machine. Again, once you have a club and you have perimeters around your use, we provide law enforcement if that's necessary to curb anything. And the big thing is, and even Mark can speak of it, right on his road tonight, you know, there's someone up there tearing the road up right now. And if these guys are all willing to come to you and ask permission and be responsible for the use, someone's going to stop and talk to that individual.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And say, you know what, we're not going to lose our ability to have
As a
access
club,
to this road.
we
wanna respect
self-police,
it,
if
yeah.
you
Way
will.
more club enforcement.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a real effective one, and so we, on the enforcement side of things, the technical enforcement side of things, I actually, before I came here tonight, dropped off a new side-by-side, a Can-Am side-by-side to the Franklin County Sheriff's. And Sheriff Largeman told me to absolutely tell you folks, if you have any questions about managed use, he supports what we're trying to do. He totally understands that we need to get some perimeters around this thing, because otherwise it's just a wild, wild west, essentially.
Right.
And
then we're not getting any money for repairs.
Right.
Exactly.
This guy, he's not paying. He didn't pay for his VASA sticker, he didn't pay for his club trail.
We can,
Exactly.
you know, we need to sharpen up the ordinance a little bit ourselves. Tonight was just kind of like get in front of you folks and see if we're headed in the right track.
And I want to touch base a bit about what they are willing to do for the town. And Danny had told me at the meeting that there's no other club that does what they want to do, correct?
Right. Well, that's not exactly what I said. I said there's no other ordinance or formal agreement that clubs have with the town.
Right.
Every club does things for the town. they don't necessarily, I don't know of any, that's what I did say, and he's correct. I said, I don't know of any of them that have a formal monetary agreement with the town to fix damage, like a limit. Like they gotta pay this much every year. There's none of them exist because of the way we're set up, and it's just like the snowmobile clubs. If they're,
Do it anyway.
you know, if we do it, they're gonna contribute anyway, they're gonna do fundraising, they're gonna donate to the town. If it needs to be a written agreement, then it needs to be, no, I don't care, but those things are gonna occur over time. As far as resources for damage and enforcement and those type of things, that's what I'm for. I'm the guy that gets the phone call. If the club isn't doing what they're supposed to do,
So
then
what-
you need to call VASA.
what the club has said that they would be willing to do, and this is what they wanted to discuss and talk about is, every year they, and I told them if I'm from the select board, if I go and I assist them or work with Scott or whoever puts it on, they would do like a Calcutta dinner once a year at the crossing, which brings business to Richford first and foremost.
Brings more money in too.
And all the proceeds that they raised from that dinner,
Net
they
proceeds.
would,
Net
proceeds,
they
yeah.
they would give back to the town, which we figured between $4,000 and $5,000 a year, and that money could be used if there is something that needs to be fixed, we can fix it. If not, we would then take that money back with the club and do something with some carvings from Brandon Wilson or something like that with
more
that
trees.
money. Plant,
More trees.
do
All kinds of
something
stuff, yeah.
with the club, get with them, say, hey, listen,
Signage.
this is the money that you guys raised for the town. What can we do with it that's good for the town?
And we would only appreciate recognition with that as far as,
Get it, yeah.
whatever. And the one thing is that being our first annual year as a club, we can't anticipate
What it's gonna be.
what it could be.
They're nervous to commit.
Yeah.
You know, so number one, we don't want to make a cap, and we can't have a minimum maximum at this point, but we can only assume what
Try it.
should come, right?
Yeah.
100 tickets, 120 tickets at $120 is $14,500. The dinner food was
20.
$5,000, and our tickets, and we ended up with
It was between
$5,800 in the end. So did that shake out to be, well, we had 20 tickets we didn't sell, whatever.
Well, I don't
So
think we have
can't-
to put a monetary amount.
Right.
You had the
We're just as a
fundraiser.
club, we want to offer the town.
Yeah,
I think that's awesome.
yeah. I think
It's a
that's
gift from our club,
Right.
if you will. It's not anything more or less, because Danny said it to us the best, is the hard part about us presenting this to the select board and hoping that we get our grants, permission,
Right.
is that there is no real direct benefit for the town of Richford. It's just the residents and the businesses in the town, which ultimately is the town of Richford.
Yes.
But
Well, I think it is because they're going tourism and they're trying to bring more
Yeah, oh, yeah.
rail trail and they're trying to bring more canoers and they're trying to bring all this other stuff.
And we're doing all
We're
that
not getting a
stuff,
lot of
trying
small
to-
businesses in town. I mean, we have some, but we're not going to be what we
And
used
if
to be.
we-
But this is a way to get more people coming into
And
town.
right now,
to
at
be
this
honest.
time, that everybody in town that has an ATV is already riding it on our roads.
Yeah. Right.
They're already riding them.
Yeah.
Nobody's trailering them out of town.
Right, right.
The only thing they're doing is that because they can't legally come up through Main Street, so they're gonna come up Main Street 50 miles an hour because they know they're not supposed to be there.
Okay, can I ask you this, as long as you mention Main Street? We're gonna get a lot of flack if you're allowed to go up and down Main Street.
But you have to be able to
Well,
walk that side of the
you know,
house.
You can cross, you're talking about crossing, but if you're gonna ride up and down the street, we're gonna get it's gonna not work probably.
I mean, it's.
You're riding for pleasure up and down Main Street.
They're gonna have to get across the bridge somehow.
Yeah, well, so there's many villages now that are opening up certainly the village centers to get to the services. That's kind of the key. You may not
If we
wanna
want
open
to
up the
draw
whole
people
thing.
in here to go get gas,
I know.
or go to the
I'm all
crossing
for
and
that.
have dinner,
I'm not against
or
that.
Right.
Linda, we
Right.
wanna connect to the other, we wanna be able to connect to Berkshire
Right.
Trail System and Montgomery and Enosburg.
Do you have a plan? Do you have a plot to do that?
Not right tonight, but we're working.
You're working on
We
it.
do,
I'd
but
like
we
to see
didn't
that.
present it at this point because we weren't sure if we were gonna need the main arteries or if it was gonna
Private
be.
land.
That as well as an ordinance.
And that's where Andy was saying is, do we open 4 roads or do we open all the roads?
Well, that's what I wondered. I'd like to see a list of the roads.
Probably not all the roads. I know Stevensville Slide is probably one of them shouldn't open.
Why?
Why?
I have camp up there, why
No,
would
you
we
have a
not?
camp on East Richford side.
East Richford, but still Stevensville Ride is
No.
not that far away.
I don't have no camp up there.
No,
Just-
no, I have one on East
Oh,
Richford,
East
but it's the
Richford
same
side.
thing. Why
East
not
Ri-
that road?
I'm talking about Stevensville Slide.
Yeah,
But
East
why not
Richford
that
goes
one?
up.
Them guys up there, they threatened to close the snowmobile trail down if ATVs are allowed on their road.
Well, they wouldn't go on their land. If the road is.
Well,
Well,
they wrote-
unfortunately, he's
You're gonna run
raised
into
a
those
valid
issues.
point, you're
Yeah.
gonna run into that,
You got
so.
people that are against it.
You got
Yeah.
people that are
Places,
against.
no question.
And so Vass's recommendation is to try to, for the town to try to work some of these things out. We're going through it right now in Holland, where the snow, and the president of the snowmobile club is the president of the drift, it's a huge club up there, a huge snowmobile area. And there's a
work with the
landowner
snowmobile.
there's a landowner that says, you know, if you open the road in front of my house, I'm closing my snowmobile trail on my land. The snowmobile club is looking for a new route because, you know, one thing that a lot of people overlook is the roads are a resource for everyone, every single taxpayer in town, not just one person that lives
Right,
on that
not
road.
just, yeah.
So there has to be compromise, and that's something that when you have a club, you know, you're gonna work these things out. Maybe that road isn't absolutely necessary. Maybe you can find a way around it. Maybe you can find a landowner. Maybe if it's snowmobile, he's got a snowmobile trail, maybe it's not around his house and the road might be right in front of his house. He may be willing to, because we have the resources to make a trail that is not a, you know, our trails aren't muddy, our trails aren't swamps, we're not environmentally damaging anything. We have our hope, so we have our own trail maintenance program, we have 2 trail crews, all set up with, we have track holders, excavators, dump trucks, a new track truck, you know, we have everything, we've got $500,000 worth of equipment.
You get this from your dues and stuff?
We get this
Yeah.
from our funding, yep. I've
Do you
been
have a
doing this
pla-
19
do you have a
years.
route in Alberg on, across?
Albert, well,
No, I'm sorry, Irisburg.
Irisburg, Albany, that area, Coventry, we have, and I did bring a map in, I'm sorry.
I know Roy Engel's land, they
Yes,
put
we have a lot of
you have
trail
a
over there, and
building there.
that's connected now to Montgomery. We're this
Oh.
close. Well, we're working with Montgomery right now to try to figure out. There's a section that there's some landowners that don't want the road open, so the club is working diligently to get around that. This is definitely a chicken and egg thing. It's not a complete picture yet. But this is one of the first things you have to do. You have to make sure you have the support of the select board to at least do this.
So you're talking for like the first year, you're not really gonna be gung ho about this. We need to make the agreement.
So
and
it's
then
June
you'd be
now.
working it out.
Nearly
now.
July.
And we have to warn it for 60
And
days.
you have to wait for 60 days, and we still got some work to do. We need
Yeah.
to put together a map for you folks to see.
So more be
We
next
have to
year.
put together a new ordinance, which we can do that in a month's
Yeah.
time or less,
Yeah.
a couple of weeks. I don't know.
I'm thinking they would have this all done in the next 2 months. So it'd be this fall.
And
Do it
get
this
it,
fall.
and get it in place. I mean, this
Yeah,
is, you gotta
by this
get
end of
it,
this fall.
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
And we'll get our plan sharpened up, and then come back to you folks and.
So you just need to know if we're willing to talk to you
At this
again.
point, I think we had a good meeting. He's been great because he's
Yeah.
kind of given some insight to us. A couple of really important things that the select board people you should know is I've been doing this 19 years, and I came up here a month ago, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago on a Saturday night to the crossing, and generally when I go to these meetings, there's 6 people.
Really?
There was
60.
60.
Now, were they
I've been
all
residents.
local? Were they all? they're
All Richford residents.
None of them are from Hardwick. I didn't recognize the one.
There's a lot of people.
I know.
And it's forever.
And all these, everyone I talked to there that night are like, this ain't everybody. You know, it's Saturday night and people are doing things.
Yeah.
So you have a huge,
Yeah.
your residents, you have a bunch of, a huge number of residents
I agree.
that are going to be in favor of this. You're going to have people that are going to not be in favor of it.
Where does the snowmobile trail go where they said that they wouldn't?
Well, Norman Vector owns the land. They go,
Up the power
the
line.
snowmobile trail goes down, part of McAllister Road, then up through by the reservoir, the dam, well, not, it goes up, ends up in the big meadow up behind Randy McAllister's there.
Okay, because Joanne had called me about it, and she had some concerns, and I talked to her about it I told her everything that he had told me.
Yeah.
And her biggest concern was, she agreed that ATVs go by her house now anyways. And I said, but now they're gonna, she was concerned that they wouldn't have to obey by the speed limit. That's why I didn't know if that's what you were talking about. Because the ATV has to follow the same rules as a car.
They have to be insured.
And now it would be enforceable, where it's not really enforceable now. They're doing it.
What do you do with those people that are not in your club and don't care?
You
And
get tickets. Actually, Sheriff
so
Launchman.
the sheriff will give them tickets.
If you're in Highgate right now and you get caught, it's gonna be loaded on a flatbed,
Okay.
because he's had it.
I've seen him do it with Town.
And that's,
You know what has happened a few times.
that's all what we put in our ordinance.
Right,
What,
right.
So
what
we
we
just-
want the fine to be, what we want to happen. What-
As far as I'm concerned, those people up there on the Stevens Slide Road, that's what they need. Because they're right up and down the road with theirs, and if they ain't registered or nothing, well, they can get.
That's right. So we just provided we have a program with law enforcement where
Right.
we provide a unit for a year, a side-by-side, a Can-Am side-by-side of the trailer. And then after the year's up, then we purchase it, we split it 50-50 with the sheriff, so they'll have that.
Oh, the
unit.
sheriffs have it to use to chase.
Yes, I delivered it tonight. Well, we don't chase.
I know, you just follow.
No, we don't, well, whatever, that's it.
Yeah, we
don't wanna get
So
into
you
the-
delivered it tonight to
Yeah, I
Washington?
dropped it off at
Oh,
the sheriff's
cool.
office on my way up here tonight. So they'll be starting this weekend. They will
Good.
be out.
It's really a big deal everywhere, you know?
It is.
So we now have that program in Orleans, Caledonia, Franklin. We have a program in Rutland. We have a program in Orange County.
Now it'll be Frank.
And now it's Franklin's.
Are you you're talking with Sheldon too, aren't you? I was talking to people down there.
I'm not. I know there's people in Sheldon that are talking
They're
about it.
talking about it
but I
because
haven't
they
been there
think
myself,
it'll bring tourism and.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the tourism thing is, that's a great thing, but it's not like
Not the
all of a
key.
sudden it's gonna be a flick of the switch and you're gonna have 1,000 ATVs in town.
But it's gonna go with the rest of our
But it's gonna
recreation
go with the rest of your
program. that we
recreation.
have.
And like these guys
Kayaks.
say, right now, these guys are all using Euros to ride to Montgomery and
Right.
Berkshire and other places that all Hamlet to Lowell and Cajuns. I mean, honestly, if you get to Lowell now, you can go all the way to Derby, you can go
Hampshire.
to Sheffield, well, you can't get to New Hampshire because of state federal land, but you can go all the way to Sheffield, Wheelock,
Go in there?
you didn't get it.
No, I didn't go through there. No, I didn't know if the trails connected through.
No, they don't, because there's a northeast corner is a bunch of state and federal land. So
Okay,
that's
so you're
all the
not supposed to
champion
go
lanes and
through.
everything. So we just started a club. I started on Tuesday night, I started a club in Canaan. And basically on Wednesday night, I came here the last few weeks and we decided these guys are forming a club. So Canaan is kind of really unique because they can't get out of Canaan because it's all state and federal land.
Yeah.
So we're working and tying them into New Hampshire, and we're actually going to.
New Hampshire's big, isn't it? Don't they like
It
have
is in the
rallies and
Northeast,
stuff?
yeah,
Is it
but
Berlin?
I call
They have like
it's
500,
way
600
different than what we do.
miles.
They're marketing that. I call
Right.
it Walt Disney World
Yeah.
or ATV. That's not what we're going to have in Richford.
Okay.
You're going to have a controllable amount of people coming in. You might get maybe 20, 30 people on a weekend that'll come get gas. But that's 20, 30 people that
maybe
did
eat.
come get gas and eat. If it's good, it's good. It may grow. If it's bad, then we'll have to figure out a way to stop it.
Can we
It's
do
very
like
fluid.
yearly contracts with you?
I would do a.
To see how it goes? and
So
then-
you need to have an ordinance, but because
Right.
of the 60-day waiting period and the time frame in which we annually produce our maps and such, in all my new ordinances, and you'll be the first one to get my new sample ordinance when we get it to you.
Okay.
It's gonna have a clause in there that will allow you folks to open and close roads at your discretion without reopening your ordinance. That way, if you have a road that you need to add or you need to take away, you don't have to go through the whole amendment process.
Right,
to the ordinance
if a
to
bunch
start
of people
over.
have a pitch a big fit about it,
You can say that.
okay, that one's
That
out.
one's done, but you don't throw the
Right,
baby
you
out with
don't have to
the
start
bathwater.
over. Right.
To start over.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
something new
it.
that I've learned in the
Well, it
last
would
6
behoove you
months.
to get it to us as soon as possible if we decide to do it because of
Right.
the 60
Well,
days.
I get to do this every day for like 18 hours a day, so.
All right.
I could have
Shouldn't take you that long,
I start
right?
at 4:30 a.m. if you need
I'll be
it.
here at 7. You can send it.
No, we can do that. It's a template that I have.
Right.
These guys will need to get together and really get serious about what they want to do. For
How many
a corridor.
members do you guys have right now?
We're only a week old, really.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
so we're not wasting a whole lot of time. Like we're getting right on it.
Okay.
We have 5 board members.
Could you touch
Yeah.
base or I don't know who's in charge of it, but of some of the things that we talked about that you wanted to do for, you know, like fundraisers and
Yeah.
things for the, it's gonna bring business to Richford.
Fundraiser committee,
Right.
she's gonna be in charge
Oh,
of that.
good.
Like to have a poker run.
Yeah.
a few things
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
that's good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Similar to what the snowmobile club.
He had talked about a possible golf tournament.
Golf tournament.
Golf tournament.
Yeah, so we had talked about the
Use
golf
the golf,
tournament.
please use the golf course, cause that's spring, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it needs
Yeah.
revenue, right?
Yes, it
needs
does.
the help.
And one thing we did talk about as a club, I didn't want to butt in, Scott.
No, keep going.
We thought it should be mandatory that everybody have insurance. That's in the
Yeah,
club. It's
yeah,
not a state law, but it's going to be, what, next year?
Next year,
But
January.
we thought, right off the
Yeah.
bat, you know,
You mean
gotta
liability
know
if
that
they-
You're going down Main
Yeah.
Street, if you bump
No,
into somebody's
somebody,
car,
yeah.
that you're covered.
I think we would want that.
I'm surprised it's
not mandatory now.
Yeah, me too.
So on that note, we, 2 years, not this past session, the session last session, we had 28 pages of legislation that we introduced, which basically was all rules and regulations, and helmets and insurance are part of that, as well as a whole bunch of gray areas that currently they're not clear statutes on. Part of the problem is ordinance, every town has an ordinance, it's just a pitch off, a little bit different, so a lot of it was, it's in your ordinances here, that isn't in statute now, will be in statute, and we're gonna reintroduce that all this year. Again, we didn't this past session,
They didn't
because
pass
it was
it,
a
or
new, well, they didn't pass it 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it didn't make it out of committee, because there's a group called the Forest Partnership, who don't particularly care for ATVs, and they were successful in stopping it from moving out of committee. However, they finally realized that the whole 28-page bill answered all their concerns. So we fought with them to the point where they're like, it's like, you know, you guys, that we agree with you. You identified your concerns and your problems. We've agreed with you. We brought 28 pages of ATV rules and regulations to put on the table to help you with your problem. And unfortunately, some people still just don't like ATVs. So we've worked through that now. We've actually been working with that same group a ton in this past year on Act 250 and the revisions that are gonna come through Act 250 in relation
Did
to
you say that was
trails.
the forest committee?
Forest Partnership is the name of it. It's
It's not part of the ag committee?
No, it's not a committee.
Oh, it's
This
a
is,
separate partner, okay.
This is like the Vermont Trails and Greenways Council
Oh.
is the advisory council on trails, both motorized and non-motorized. I'm the chair, again, for the third time in my history. And that group, and the group that has concerns about trails, again, non-motorized and motorized, is the Forest Partnership. That's the Land Trust, Vermont Land Trust, Audubon Society, Vermont Natural Resources Council. There's 5 of them. Sierra Club. Anyway, so it's the people that are concerned about the environment and stuff. So through everyone's looking at Act 250 at 50 and what their changes are gonna be. So those two groups have been forced to meet weekly for about the last year. So we've worked through a lot of the problems, and they've definitely figured out on the ATV side of things that the legislation that we were trying to get passed will only help them, and they're foolish if they don't take it. There's nothing in there that's not gonna benefit their concerns. So we did introduce it this session because it was a new session with a lot of new people and some new chairs and committees that we need to be successful in. So we wanted to build relationships with those new folks in Montpelier before we introduced the legislation, make sure they understood, educate them, and make sure they understand what we're trying to accomplish. We did that this session, and actually, in next session, we're gonna reintroduce most of that stuff. So we're only working to tighten up the rules and regulations now, we're not, we're not, Vasa, again, I've been around basically since day one. We've come a long way. Our responsibilities to the citizens of Vermont, the towns of Vermont, and the environment are what we do. That's why we're in place. That's all we work on. Is all I do is put out fires every day, and that's fine because that's what somebody has to do. But it's dramatic to me how much I think I've been to 14 or 15 towns since the first of the year that are trying to put some management perimeters around the use. And the story's the same in every single community. It's happening, it's kind of out of control. Some towns have real problems, some towns don't really have a problem. But the number one thing that I'm seeing is people that in your community, good people, that wanna try to help manage that use. The same as it was in 1970 when they, snowmobiles. My grandfather was a dealer, I kid about it now, but I can remember when I was a little kid, every snowmobile had a pair of fence pliers in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everyone, and you know what the only difference between the guys that were trying to do the right thing and the guys that were trying to do the wrong thing? Is the guys that were cutting the fences that were trying to do the right thing would turn the fence back up after they went through. But there was no trail system, there was no management.
Right.
I wanted to ride to your house, I rode, and if I had to go across your property, I did. If I had to cut your fence, I did, and that's the way it was.
We didn't cut too many fences, we tried to look for a gate most of the time.
Right, but you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
it was the same thing.
But we did have fence players.
It was a wild, wild west, so everybody,
did that to
it was
you?
accepted.
What's that?
What if they did that to you on your land?
They did, they had been done it myself.
So it's just kind of an analysis of how things change over years.
Well, I
how
think you've got
management-
more people interested in them now, as back in when we did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you've got a
And
bigger
we're stronger.
fan base.
We got a better understanding. We worked
what
really
you
hard to
wanna do.
educate people. I mean, when V-Trans came to us, it shocked me. I mean, again, been around since day one, so state highways were, like even this ordinance says no state highways. Well, to be honest with you, you don't have the authority to say that in here, so it doesn't do you any good anyway.
No.
But you're not the only one. There's several that are still, right now, Irisburg says that.
Right.
And we got 58 something in Irisburg. Yeah, that was the first legal one we got. But their town ordinance still says that they can't do it, they haven't.
Well, that's why you need to update this one.
But we can update it, and put them we don't wanna take too much of your time tonight.
What's a spark arrestor? What it sounds like?
It's
Okay.
something that goes in your muffler so no sparks come out.
Okay.
All of that stuff in there about the systems, it's all in
Looking it up.
statute. Most of this is out of statute,
Right.
is in statute. As far as all that stuff. Your helmet, VASA bylaws currently say you have to wear a helmet, and the statute will change. But helmets and insurance are in every ordinance at every town I've been to, we encourage them.
Well, they should have it.
Yeah. The only other thing that comes up sometimes that is an issue we can just touch on really quickly is the use of, highway use. A lot of people say you should have a driver's license. Well, unfortunately, the state statute says that you need to be 12 years old, have a safety certificate, and be under the direct supervision of an adult.
Right, so there's.
So that's the way it is now. Just like snowmobiling, you gotta, when you're saying road, you're talking about a class 4 road, it may hardly even be noticeable as a road versus a dirt road. But the perimeters around the supervision of the child is the same. You gotta watch your kids, basically.
Right.
So.
And you guys will do some training courses for kids
We
as
do.
well,
We have a
right?
safety education program where we'll come here. It's very similar to the vast one. It's a home study, and then they come in for a Saturday, and they have a 1-day course, and then they get a certificate. And we provide that free to the communities. As soon as we get 10 kids signed up, girls come up and do that.
I probably wouldn't pass the first time.
Well, unfortunately, that's probably going to change as well in this new package, the legislation. We're probably going to switch to a born-on date. Because, to be very honest with you, I don't have the problem with the 12 to 18-year-olds. It's the 18 to 25-year-olds that need
exactly.
to be educated.
Exactly.
Because they're the ones that all of a sudden got a job and have never even seen an ATV before.
Yeah.
And they got their first job, and they got some money, and they go out and buy
Right.
this thing, and they ride it like they see it on television.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the upbringing that most of us have had, where we grew up with things like that. And I'd lost my privilege to ride my motorcycle if
Yeah.
I didn't behave.
Yeah, well, they don't do that anymore.
They don't nowadays.
They don't do that anymore.
So yeah, it's different.
And that'll be in the new ordinance, you think?
It's what's that?
Born on
The
date.
born on date?
No, it won't be in your ordinance. That'd be something that we'd have to handle
Later.
in statute. I would suggest your ordinance.
Be
The
plain
one I
simple.
send you is gonna be simple. It's gonna cover the statutory requirements. It's gonna add helmets. I would put something in there to what's gonna be VASA corridor trails, just so you know what those are. We'll get you a draft. I'll get you a draft. I'm not sure it's gonna be this week, because I got a long week ahead of me, but I'll try to get something out so you guys can review it and we can work.
So are
on it.
your time frame? I mean, it sounded like it's longer and longer. We don't meet till another Monday unless we had a special meeting, which I don't know. This
We meet
is-
once a month?
Twice.
Twice a month.
First and
Yeah,
third.
I don't
Certainly, we
think
can
the first-
have something together.
But I think we got a
for you to
3-week
review.
gap, don't we? Are there 4 Fridays, 5 Fridays? No.
We'll certainly have something for you to review. For
For the next meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Okay.
got the
And I
maps.
probably won't be here for that one,
That's
but
fine.
these
Sounds
guys
good.
will be able to take it.
And
I'm
then
available
if
anytime
we
by phone,
decided to
email.
do it, it would have to be warned for 60 days.
Right. And these guys are all good with that. They understand this is gonna be a process.
Okay, okay. It's not gonna happen tomorrow, but.
Right, and we
Okay.
talked about that outside.
But it's a start.
Where none of these guys actually, when we were talking in the parking lot, we didn't wanna come here tonight and have you decide anything.
Good.
We're not at that point yet. You know, you're gonna have some people that are gonna be unhappy
Yeah.
with it. I think we need to have a meeting, maybe one meeting, where we have some of those people in here to try to.
Well, once they watch this on TV, they'll be in the next meeting.
Yeah, that's fine, maybe I will be,
Yeah,
and I can be.
we'll see, because
What's
this is
this,
when,
the first,
this is gonna do
third?
it.
What Monday?
This is the second Monday, right? Third Monday.
So you mean,
Yeah, that we meet the first and third.
okay, perfect.
First and third, yeah.
Our
Yeah.
board meeting is the second Monday.
Oh, see, there you go, you don't have to,
My select board's the first and third Thursdays, so.
oh,
We have a VASA, so these guys really came together and formed a VASA, official VASA club.
yeah,
So there's some responsibilities there. They have to
Right.
come to Barry, somebody's gotta come to Barry once a month to our board
Yeah.
meeting, second Monday. They have trail access decals they sell now. So, you know, they're moving ahead with the
Right.
club already, regardless of the outcome tonight, because they think it's really important to get
Yeah.
that organization. And, yeah, we can have something put together for the next meeting. You guys
For
can
sure.
manage.
Yeah, we got the maps. We've already done them. We just didn't, I guess we weren't really thinking about presenting them at this point as
well, it's
far
probably
as.
too early tonight.
Well,
anyway.
yeah, this was good to talk out,
We
me
needed
to see this and you guys, and we can get together and whack it out.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Alright.
thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Any other questions?
I'm sure we'll have some
I got
next time.
nothing. Not tell me.
I'm good. I think it's a great idea personally, so.
Let me leave.
Have you got a four-wheel?
Well, yeah, I've been talking about it forever. I love not taking Hampshire to ride anywhere I
Well, I
want.
got 3 cards here for somebody
Let me
that,
keep one for the office.
you can email me.
We did mention, I should have mentioned the curfew thing too
Do
around
you
town.
need
That
my,
was-
are you?
Oh, yeah, the
Just
curfew
send
thing,
it?
that would be
That was
huge.
pretty
It's a select board.
Yeah, like 6 AM to 10 or something like that for the
It's in-
village limits.
It's in one of these.
Yeah,
In the
Yeah.
ordinance, it's got a spot where you can pencil in a time
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up, so.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, he sent a card too to make sure.
We know him.
Oh, you
He's-
know,
He's doing, I think he's gonna be a good sheriff. I think he's got some good
that's an
ideas.
at, but I can't seem to make the pin
That's
work on it,
fine.
okay.
No, I'm really happy. We didn't have a very good relationship with the past sheriff. He didn't really think that he wanted to deal with ATVs.
I know.
Well, it's to the point you gotta deal with them.
Well, that's
Here you
it.
got more.
I think he was
Yeah,
dealing with
those are
the
yours.
bad guys too
Yeah.
much.
I don't leaving.
Yeah, so.
I know Border
this
Patrol is
guy,
the sheriff's, but they're
he
out
actually
with many
got,
four-wheelers.
The retired warden, Dan Swainbank.
Swainbank,
Was
yeah.
a retired warden, that's working for him now, and he's gonna be leading the ATV program there, so.
Good.
It'll be good for everyone.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Bye.
Or do you have one, Andy? You already have one?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
I'll take one, in case I gotta call and get extra chloride.
Linda, we'll say it right on the other side of the mountain, I spend $40 over in their shops and there's restaurants and stuff.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
It's, my only worry is that we're gonna get some flack.
Oh, you're gonna get some.
You're gonna get some.
They do all
But we
the
got,
stuff.
but we got a lot last time, that's all.
Yeah, but you gotta do something, there's so
Well,
many
yeah,
of them
no, they're out
now.
anyway, yeah.
You can't bury your head in the sand.
Well, and I think it goes
They're-
along with our recreation
I'll be right back
program.
in.
with
You
the-
can't ignore it, you gotta do
Everybody's using
something.
your roads now to get out of town.
Well, the other towns around us,
I know
pretty much all
Sheldon's
of them
talking about it, yeah.
got something going, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're running no matter what, so.
Right, right.
On the minutes, the only thing,
yeah, did you have
just
a,
one little spell check on Anita's last name, that was the only thing I saw.
what is that? Sarda Willoy?
That was it?
I don't even know what that meant.
Look at that, the English teachers.
Ah, shut up. You know, do I correct you anymore?
You used to.
Yeah, well, I gotta find the minutes. Okay, I'll say.
Your turn now.
Revise, yeah, it's his turn. Revise Anita's name. Okay. You gonna
That
make
was
a
the only
motion?
thing I saw.
I went
You
over
good
them
with the
again and I
minutes,
didn't.
Scott? From the last meeting?
What's that?
Scott, you have anything on them?
There was something back.
I wish I could find them. Oh, here they are. Here they are.
30th.
Okay, Startwell.
May 20th meeting, I had a question here,
Where are you? What page?
second page of the May
Okay.
20th meeting.
That was not the one though.
That's not the one.
It's the
No, we're doing June 3rd.
30th, or June 3rd.
June 3rd.
I didn't even read the June, so I didn't have them up
I
there.
gotta, give me that copy back. I just gave you it.
Oh, that's my
Mine.
copy.
The one underneath your thing.
No, I don't have, that's the, oh, is that what you want?
No, I just handed I had the spell mistake on it. Oh no, it's right here.
Yeah, it's right in
You
front of
handed
you.
it back to me.
Okay, did you have a question about May? Cause I can,
I did have one on.
well, tell me what it is. I don't have them with me, but you can show me.
I think where it says we sent a check to a former employee on comp time.
Yeah.
Probably ought to have a name and an amount on that, in case
Well, I
somebody wants
wasn't
to-
sure if we
wants to
should, that's
research
why,
it.
yeah, I don't know.
Somebody wanted to go back in the archives and research it, just for history to be there.
You have to re-vote on it then, I'll bring it back next time, because I purposely left it out because I wasn't sure if I should put it in. I don't know
That's
if
the
we're
only-
allowed to say,
The only thing I was wondering when
Okay.
I was reading through it.
well, why don't you let me bring them back then and vote next time on them, re-vote on them if you want to, because we've already passed them.
Okay,
Okay, so that's the May what meeting?
Can you just make a,
20th.
can we just put it in the notes, the minutes
Well, for this time?
For this time.
Okay,
There was a question
well,
on
let's
May
vote on these
20th.
first then, and then we'll vote, we'll say to put it in the May.
Yeah.
Let's do this first.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from 6/3/19 select board meeting.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, now Scott, the May what meeting?
20th.
Just tell her what you want it to
Yeah.
say and then she'll put it in these.
I'll put it in these minutes.
Then we won't have to change them.
Well, it says Derby said a check has been sent to a former employee for comp time accumulated. I just thought it ought to maybe name the employee and the amount of comp time that was accumulated.
Okay, then name him, left out the name, John Nutting.
Okay, John Nutting.
Do you remember the amount?
We went through and made it a point to put everybody's time, the employees and their
Okay.
pay on this one, so I figured it's
Yep.
only right to do the same thing there.
Okay. 6,000, or no, that wasn't the total, that was the,
13,000.
13,000 something.
well, I'll get the exact,
Get
is
the
that all
exact
right? I'll get the
number,
exact amount.
It was in the ballpark of
Okay.
13,000.
I left out the name John Nutting and the amount.
Well, the employees at the garage made it a point
That's fine.
that was brought out and they
That's all.
watched it on the video and they said, well, it's only right to put it in.
Yep, that's all we really have to say is that. Okay, I'll do it. So now it's in other words, it's in, so we're not gonna do anything till the May.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of stuff and I'm gonna try to be quick. Generator,
Yeah.
remember we tossed that around at the last meeting?
Yeah.
I did get with Beth. She said the generators were purchased with a grant from the town, therefore they're the town's responsibility. We own them, we
Yeah.
maintain them. I don't know who wants to take care of this, but
It always was Till, I don't know, he always did generators. Who you want, I mean, what, have we hired them yet? No?
I haven't done anything with
Did
it. I
somebody
was just
say
trying
that
to
they
find
actually
out.
have a maintenance contract with
Yes,
us? Is that,
Alan
I
said
heard
that.
somebody say that.
But I
think the
don't
best
know,
thing to
this
do
is
would be
above
call
the-
them.
I think that's above the maintenance contract.
Yeah, it's got
I
all
can
their
call,
information
or you
there.
can, either one. I'm coming in tomorrow. Just let me know if you're gonna do it.
So I had that. I gave that risk management report thing to you already, Sherry. Scott, I give you the grant paperwork. Sign on Fire Street. Did you ever hear anything from the state on those broken signs?
Oh, yeah, I talked with, Raymond Desatel last night, he was at the house and he goes, they're coming up from St. Albans to fix it. They
Okay.
don't have nothing in Eastburg to, fix that type of sign.
Okay, but they're taking care of it?
Yep.
And then fuel at the town garage. I guess they came over there to take the tanks or something. Bruins came to take the tanks like a week ago.
He hasn't heard this yet?
No,
Yeah, so it's.
Okay, you want me to explain it, or?
Yeah.
Okay. They called from town barn and said the Bruins was there to take the tanks. And I couldn't get hold of you. And the tanks were bone dry empty.
right,
So I went over, and Leo said that he didn't hear from you, so he didn't know if they had the contract anymore. And those are Blue One's tanks, they cost a couple $1,000. So wait a minute. So I just said to him, well, I'm making the decision, fill those tanks, because they had 5 trucks on the road. And so he said that you hadn't told them, because you asked them for a bid,
no, I didn't ask for a bid, I said,
a price.
I said if they'd match Robert McAllister's price, and they said yes. I said, okay, we'll keep it the way it is.
So you
For now.
told them, yes, so we have Blue Ones.
Yes.
Okay, but you never called them back to say it again.
Well, I
You didn't think you needed, they figured they already
mentioned
knew.
it to Scott, to let him know when you needed fuel, if you're going to need fuel soon.
Right, well, it was empty, and so now they're full, or they're probably not full anymore, but they need to order it in advance and stuff, and keep it at the price you gave them, or they gave you.
Bruins has always just come and filled it
Well,
whenever
they
they're
will.
in town.
They
go
will.
over,
They will
yeah.
automatic bill.
If they're in
But they
town,
need to know, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anybody will come in
Right.
on a regular time base, as long like Sherry said, when this coming fall or whatever, we'll put it up for bids. See whoever
well, you gotta do it before fall.
before fall.
Yeah, you gotta be doing it now. You gotta put out your bids now, and if you're gonna do the buildings, because they have to pre-order,
Okay.
and you wanna get a solid number. So it's okay then, right now, Blue Ones,
Yeah, so I didn't tell them that we were done with them.
okay, but you didn't tell them you were for them either, and those were their tanks. That's the only reason they came to
The
take
only
the
thing,
tanks.
yeah, the only thing I mentioned over there at the office was say, can you match Robert McAllister's price? And she said yes. I said, okay, we'll keep getting the fuel here then, for now,
Okay, so,
until
well, then you need, yeah.
until further notice.
He actually asked me if we were doing bids, so, for both. So it's time to do that now, okay?
Right.
But Blue Ones is on, so I'm just gonna confirm that with them, okay?
Just if you do go and get bids though, don't share them
Right,
with a competitor. Have them give you a sealed bid and then
Yeah.
open it up.
And we open them up.
Right.
I mean, that's fair game, that's fair practice.
You can't let people know what the other one's doing, and,
And then I
because
just
you know
got,
what? They should give us the best price anyway.
at that time
Just-
there, I
that's it.
just wanted them to get it.
Just a
done,
report
to
from
have
the
it
sheriff.
I
I
got
emailed
one.
that to you anyway, so.
Yeah.
That was all I got. Sherry, or no, Scott, water and sewer. I gotta step out and use the bathroom real quick.
I know, this is,
I guess they finally got the water repaired up on Providence Street. We got another new break right by the bridge on River Street, I guess it is, as you go down across the bridge, right to the right. There's a water break there coming up through the road.
on the right going down,
No, just across the bridge as you turn to go up
Oh.
towards the crossing right there on the right.
so it's on,
That's gonna be
it's
a
on.
fun
there.
one to dig up with traffic control and,
Yeah.
I don't know, we may have to hire one of the traffic control people to come in and do it unless we get rid of all the people parking on the left-hand side of the street and just detour the trucks wide out around. I don't know how big it's gonna be. I think Darryl was thinking Friday they may attempt to try to dig and see what's going on there with Alfred. I wanna talk to John, I think, as far as trying to get into the
John.
Methodist church.
John Libby,
Yeah, on the parsonage and the church. I don't know, I gotta set a firm date, but Darryl thought maybe the Thursday or Friday, the 20th or the 21st. They're gonna have cameras, they're gonna check the main line. They've checked the main line for flow just by popping manholes and looking in. He says the flow seems to be going good, there's a lot of flow through there. But they're gonna have cameras and they wanna be able to get access into the church and into the parsonage, so maybe they can go
Okay,
down the
just
drain.
let me know the date and.
Yeah, I think the way he talked, it would either be the 20th or the 21st, that's this Thursday or Friday, but I gotta confirm it with him for sure. They have looked and he says he doesn't see anything in the main line, there's a lot of flow there and doesn't seem to be any blockages. They can't tell anything in your line, you know. And what else was it? Oh, Robert McAllister's shack's all hooked up with water and sewer now. He's good to go with that. That was done this last week. I guess other than that, I don't have a whole lot with water and sewer. I did have a couple other comments from just residents. I had somebody that was concerned with the speed down on Troy Street with people coming into town, and they were wondering, I know the sheriff was here and he said he could lend us or rent us or whatever they do with those speed signs.
They had it down the road the other day, yeah, in Berkshire.
This citizen was just wondering if we could get one of those and put it up there for a week or two, see if it would slow the traffic down. Says coming into Troy Street, you know, they say the traffic, I know traffic comes in there fast.
Right, so you want me to call? Because I'm the police, or you
Well,
want to
just-
call because you're the highway?
I just wanted to voice a concern.
I'll call Roger.
They'll bring it for free, they don't charge
Yeah,
us.
they'll probably have a schedule because I know I just saw it somewhere. All right, so call Roger about speed sign, okay. I will do that. Anything, other comments?
I got a couple other things with the highway, actually.
Okay.
I've got a couple different citizens that have been asking me about a excavator bucket. When we bought our excavator back 5 years ago or whatever, we had a ditching bucket that came with it, and for some reason John or Jason, they didn't really want that bucket. I guess it's too big and heavy for what we do. It's a hydraulic tilt bucket. And I know of at least 2 people in town that do excavator work or have excavators are interested in purchasing that bucket. I don't know if we want to put it up for bids or something.
Will we ever use it? Would you ever use it?
We never have. It's never been used since we've got it. It's sitting up back, just rusting, so.
Probably bids would be better.
I would say bids.
It's worth between $3,000 and $4,000 probably, and I think the town could probably use the money if
Okay.
it's gonna sit there and rust.
Do you want to put it in the paper? Bid? Bid?
Well, it's either that, or I know the 2 people that are interested in it, just
Okay.
have them give a written bid to us and we'll open it up and do it that way, cause what, it costs $100 to put it in the paper?
Yeah, but I just want to know if you.
Well, I don't know, but
If we have to do that. We don't have, if it's a bid situation, don't you have to?
If that's the only 2 persons you want to.
well, I know those 2 people have approached me about it.
Yeah.
For the money is what, $25? I'd put it in.
Yeah, if
I
it's
would
only
too.
$25, I'd put it in the paper. but
Okay, so.
I don't know what it costs.
I'll have to get together with you tomorrow and give me the details, because I don't want to know them tonight.
Well, we may have other things. If you're gonna put an ad
Okay,
in the
why don't you
paper,
put 'em
you
all,
make
okay.
up a list of things.
Alright.
It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
stuff kicking around. There's a
Okay.
gas tank or, well, maybe if we're gonna switch gas companies, we may wanna keep our gas tank. but
Those
there's one
aren't,
there
those aren't our gas
Well,
tanks.
there's one there that is.
Okay.
It's buried over in the bushes.
But isn't that the rusty one? We
I
have.
don't think it's all that rusty.
Because Bill ones own the ones with the overroad stuff, right?
Yeah, well, they own both of them there,
Yeah,
gas
yeah.
and.
And they're expensive, aren't they? They're a couple $1,000.
Yeah, and another thing, I'm getting a lot of questions on people wanting to buy used culverts. I don't know if you just want me to come up with a ballpark price and just sell them at my discretion, or how you wanna do that?
No.
They're sitting up back, just cluttering up things,
We
and
need
people would
to be
use them
careful
like in the
and
sugar
remember.
bush, and I don't know. They'd come to Allen and pay for the culverts or whatever. I'm not gonna take the money or any of that, but
Good, because we've already made those
they're not good
rules.
enough to do
Any work
in
with?
the highways, but they're good for somebody in the sugar woods or.
We'll add those to your list of stuff if you want. You want bids on it, or
Well,
you want
it's
prices?
just-
That's a price thing.
That's a price.
People don't wanna buy the whole pile, they just wanna come and
Right.
get a 12-foot culvert to put in the sugar woods.
How much would you charge for something like that?
I don't know, it's, you just have to come up with a ballpark price, and whatever a new one is, half or less, you know, if
Yeah.
it's,
I'd
some of
say
them are
leave that
junk,
up
and
to
some of
you.
them are,
I agree.
I'd say that, leave that up to you, just don't give them to people.
Probably a quarter
Charge people.
of a new one.
yeah.
Half the last.
Matters
Yeah.
what shape they're in, some are squashed
Right.
and, you know, they just want it for a 4-wheeler trail or something, well, it's fine, but, you know, they're just
agree.
kinda cluttered to us.
Well, then let's get rid of them.
Get rid of it.
There's a lot of them back there.
Quite a few, you know, it's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna have some
Changing
more,
quite-
aren't you?
We're
This,
changing quite a few lately, and
Yeah,
so
you're
they're
gonna
just
have more.
accumulating.
I would just sell them. Sell them.
The ATV club might want to buy some of them.
Right.
Yeah.
but sell them for something, unless
Right.
they're totally desperate.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I've also gotta buy or order some new culverts, I'm thinking $4,000 or $5,000 worth, so. It's in the budget to buy culverts, just wanna
your
make
budget.
sure you're good with it.
it's your budget. You can actually spend your budget any way you want.
Well, we're changing a lot of 18-inch culverts that are the black ones that we put in 6, 7, even up to 5 years ago were,
Bad.
a lot of them are bad. They're too soft, they're caving in on us. We've gone to a heavier gray culvert that seems to be holding up better. Hopefully they last better than the black ones. Some of them are only been in 4 years and they're junk.
If they don't last longer than
That's
that,
awful.
these here don't, might as well go back to steel.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
get your, whatever list you want me to put in the paper, and just give me the description, and I'll get it in as soon as I get it from you.
Take a few days and I'll
Yep, give it
walk
to me
around,
when
see
you
what
want.
we wanna get rid
All right.
of.
Okay, Sherry, buildings?
The stairs to the clock tower are completely done. Much easier to get up and down. John and I went up and looked at it, much easier. I now have the information also to get hold of people to repair the clock, so I will get back in touch with them because the stairs are not done, so I'll have them come take a look and give us a quote.
Should give Neil credit for,
Yes, oh, yeah. He's gonna be letting us know. I gave John a copy of the bill today. I have a bill copy for Alan too. John's going to send it to Neil.
and he's
and-
gonna give us half, or.
And he said, he did say he would be paying half, so. And I had originally gave him a quote of the 3,000, and that's where it came in at, the 3,000, so. As far as brickwork here, waiting to hear back from Joe. He did tell me sometime in July, that he'd be starting the brickwork on this building.
Yeah.
I have a quote from, I haven't looked at yet, from Richie Rye for the fire department for all the windows sealing, cause all the caulk is all falling out. And that's where the water's running in behind all the brick. So, I think more to the library. In my mailbox is a list waiting for me. Did a tour of the library, I had many, many things on there. To-do list, but we're going to, I told him I'm prioritizing. There's a window that needs to be replaced, so I do have Bobby going to take a look at that. That does have the whole window rocks.
What kind of stuff do
back
they
and
have,
forth. They have everything from windows. Of course, the porch is being done this month. Bobby's starting on
Bobby's
that.
doing that.
And the window, I did ask him to replace the window. It has to be replaced. It's ready to fall out. And that's in the kids' area, so that's a priority.
Yeah,
The rest of them eventually should be replaced, but nothing this year or next.
we just put a furnace in there.
Yeah. So the furnace is not in yet. It's going in.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's been paid for and stuff. It's just waiting to be put in.
Right.
They talked to me about water pressure. They don't have a lot of heat in the different radiators. One room is super hot because it's probably the dump station, the dump area.
If he's putting in a new furnace, they should be talking to John about it.
Well, I asked them when John comes to put a
tell him.
quote in because apparently John had mentioned it's because of the way the piping is. It's the old copper piping and the piping goes across like this and then it loops down like this and then goes up and over like this and heads up to the radiators. So it's actually not getting, because nothing's pulled or pushed by pump. It's actually gravity fed and it's going the wrong way. So we had the same problem in the house I used to live in, but I told him just do a quote, have him do a quote while he's here if you see him. And give it to me. So that's where we're at with that. Nothing we can do for this year. Got to budget.
Well, yeah.
So, I think that's about it at this point.
Linda?
Do you have anything else?
Let's see. I got a little grant from the, well, it used to be the Merchants Bank, I don't know, is it Community Bank for $500 toward the kayaks? They brought that up the other day, which was a surprise, yeah. They're giving money back to communities. Do you guys want to be in the parade on the float, the select board float? Why are you laughing? I was asked the other day,
I'm
if you
serving
wanted the
food.
town not to laugh to the parade, you're not.
What if you throw out $10 bills as you do that?
No, I don't think we're gonna give away money, but Andy can throw candy.
Do we need to? I mean, is it something that
No,
people generally
that's
do?
the parade committee, there's a town float every year that they give to somebody to use, like there's a flatbed or whatever it is, I don't know, it's up at the barn. And they said, does the select board wanna be on a float? Please ask them.
I won't be here.
Where are you gonna be?
Maine.
When is it? Is it on Saturday?
Yeah, the 6th of July.
And I'm the head for the feeding everybody down there, so I don't even get out to see the parade.
What if the select board sponsored a float?
Why would we sponsor one? They've got, they want us to be on one, that is sponsoring one, we'd have to decorate it.
No, she was talking down to Dolly's, so she wanted me to.
I ain't been down to
do one
watch
for
the parade
Dolly's.
for years.
I remember one year, Robert St. Pierre dressed up like Abe Lincoln.
Oh my God, that would have been hilarious.
So the answer is no?
Very much.
I have a commitment that day that I just can't do it.
You're lying.
No, I really do.
I can tell.
You're lying.
Scott, I got a commitment that day.
I don't know.
He's in Maine, he doesn't know what you're doing.
I got a commitment that day. I'll talk to you later about it, but
Okay, alright.
I'm not, the 6th is not a good day for me.
Okay, well, you could advertise your business, you could have a float for that.
I thought
Okay.
you'll be by yourself.
I guess I'm busy, I've got a commitment now.
Oh, you do?
No, I've done a lot of
Okay.
parades, yeah, just don't get me involved. All right, I got that. The building, the little kayak building is coming on Wednesday, and hopefully it'll go down by Roberts and it'll all be put in. We've had.
Did you see Robert today?
No, I looked for him, but he wasn't down there. Scott was gonna do the, put the, not foundation, spread the dirt underneath.
What was the gravel originally there for?
I don't know, that's why I need to get hold of him. I think
That's what I was on.
he told me it was for that, but then, Robert, so I don't wanna do it until he says yes. I think he plopped it there for that. But I was looking at the one down here, and it does have flat cement blocks. So I don't know what's under that thing. Just take a look at it when you go by, see if we need, where would I get the blocks?
They shouldn't put directly
Ace
on
On the
it.
ground, no.
Sticks and stuff.
Sticks and
Isn't it
stuff.
on runners like though? Like
I looked and I couldn't-
4x6s?
Yeah, they're runners, but they shouldn't.
So tell me what to get.
They ain't gonna run out as quick.
Patio blocks,
What?
patio blocks, you get them at Sticks, you get them at Ace.
You can any beads, any of them.
How many?
They're like an 8x16 block, a lot of them.
How many?
6 at the most.
Well, they've got one on top of another one.
Yeah,
They're about this
that's
wide,
What you wanna do,
so probably 12.
and you're gonna want them probably every
What am I calling them? Tell me what I'm calling them.
Probably every 6 to 8 feet down through it.
Well, it's
So
They have
12 feet.
center
It's
blocks,
12.
or they have patio block?
you don't really want a cinder block. 'cause
Got
they're
3 on
open,
it.
you
Patio
fail.
block.
3 on each side, 2 high or whatever. I
Yeah.
think
So that's just 12. So what am I asking for when I call tomorrow?
Patio blocks.
Yeah, patio blocks.
Now they'll deliver that right to the garage, won't they? Oh, unless it's.
Have them deliver it right to Roberts.
Yeah, I will. I wonder though if they deliver tomorrow.
Who does? Where you gonna get them from?
Well, I guess Sticks and stuff. We got an account there.
Taking stuff?
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call
They,
them.
they deliver.
They probably won't.
I know, but I know what day.
Tomorrow, but they will the next day.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah, it's
2
coming
days, yeah.
Wednesday. It's coming Wednesday. Okay. Where else would I get them if they couldn't? Back in my
Ace.
car?
Bates.
Bates.
Or Ace,
Or Ace.
yeah.
Oh, really? They all have.
Yeah.
Okay. These didn't look like I'd want them on my patio. They were gray.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get gray
okay.
or red.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
keep
right.
them black.
Okay, I'll do that. Police has been busy this week, and they've been very quick to respond to some things that we've had. We've had some minor mischief, I guess. What do we call it? They broke the pots at the post office. They broke the pots, but I called Roger and I said, it sounds minor, but we don't want it to start. And they actually know who did it. Some of them did it in broad daylight. They looked at the cameras, blah, blah, blah. So they're working on it, and they were right here when I called. And there's a reason why they're sitting in places. They've got something going on. So don't complain if they're in one spot too much, because there's some things going on.
You really think that okay, so on Saturday night, yeah, but still, I don't believe that, you may have a reason why, but on Saturday night, they were sitting there after we met with Roger, told him that
Sitting up there, you mean on your way?
5 hours on an 8-hour shift. I timed them in different intervals of time. At 12:30, I came through town. There was about, I'm gonna say 12, Melissa was with me, 12 people probably walking on the streets up by Mayhew's and the crossing. I mean, there was people crossing the road, beers in their hand.
So they should have been.
Came down through town, went home, still sitting there at 12:30.
That was Saturday
That
night?
was Saturday. I mean, I've been pretty fair with Roger.
Yeah.
I've told him, like,
Okay,
I
I'll
don't
check it
understand why they have to sit there for so many hours on end when
Okay.
we're paying them to patrol the streets.
Right.
The people are down here, they're not sitting up there.
I will call him tomorrow.
They sit at Dave's garage, it was 5 hours.
I need to be having the list of who's on duty. Do you get that?
No.
Okay, I'll ask him for that. We always used to get that.
Yeah, it was-
What guy is on duty?
That's
Okay.
a little bit ridiculous.
All right, I'll
And
check it out.
When you sit there, like I was over at Roberts helping him work, and we watched him sit there, and then they would leave, and then they would come back. And they would sit there for another 40 minutes, and
Okay.
they would leave for 20 minutes, they would come back. There was a fire of some sort on, I think that's Center Street. Must have been someone burning something in their backyard, but it was like garbage they were burning, and it was like black smoke, and it was just
Yeah.
kind of like all coming down through the town. And it was bad enough where we were like, should we walk over there and see if the
Yeah.
house is on fire? And the sheriff just was sat there and sat there and sat there
And that was
and
Saturday
sat
night, too?
there.
And
Yeah.
the smoke carried over to the cemetery, and the sheriff drove through the smoke coming into town and never acknowledged it.
I'll find out.
Was
who-
that on Highland Avenue down at the bottom, or was it on Center
It looked
Street?
like it was right on Center Street.
Has anybody got any complaints about garbage being burned on Highland Avenue?
Haven't heard any yet.
The lower end down by, well, on the
Lower end
down
of High-
Broad side.
The town garage, yeah, lower end.
I know Lance has said something to me about
Okay.
it a couple times.
I just think it's a little excessive to sit there
Okay.
for that many hours
All right.
on end.
I'll check and I'll see.
So Arky would be saying something about that.
Yeah,
It's
he-
right below him on the opposite side of the street.
Well, he's gone every weekend.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
He's never there on the weekend.
Apparently,
Okay.
I heard the garage was full of garbage, and rather than get rid of it, they're just taking it out
sure.
back, burning it a little bit every night. I
Down at
don't
the
know
bottom?
if the people
Okay.
even are. It's-
Well, that, yeah.
If you can get a 911 address to it, you call Barry Domina,
I will.
he'll take care of it.
I will.
Because he calls me all the time and asks me.
I'll find out what
Don't you live on Highland Avenue?
I do, on
It's
the
on
other
the
side.
other side.
That's
though.
what I'm saying, one night thinking, what side are you talking about?
That's right.
Because I was
Yeah,
thinking, on my
Sherry's
side.
doing
I don't know.
Okay, I will check on the Saturday night
Oh,
business.
over on Bob Morris's side.
Just below.
I know one guy was sitting down by the sewer plant one night, or whatever that plant is down there, because he was trying to get the four-wheelers that were going across it was unlocked. Does that gate stay open all the time?
No, it stays locked until Hershey's goes in and
Oh,
spreads
he
it
was,
more.
the sheriff did say Hershey's was in there haying
They
him.
left it open all weekend.
Yeah, it was, because I saw it too. Okay, I will check on all of that. I'm thinking of switching up a little bit of coverage, because there are people coming out at 2:00 in the morning and doing a lot of this damage, and we're seeing them, and John sees them go by his house, and,
Well, like I said that night, it was 12:30,
Yeah.
and there was,
I'll check.
had to been a dozen people. They had beers in their hand, they're walking up and down the
I'll check.
street, hollering.
Because he
screaming.
actually can see that from his car, so he's got, his computer in his car shows the
Well, you'd have
downtown.
thought by the time I got, by the
Yeah,
time.
that's what I'm saying.
By the time I got from the crossing to Dave's garage, if he'd have thought there was a concern that he'd have been on his way up
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, I'll check.
It wasn't.
I'll check and I'll find out who's on. Had a dog issue, that Andy sent me this day. Did you get the call?
No.
Down below the school, the high school. Some dogs chasing kids.
Oh, yeah, I did,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did.
Yeah, I haven't gotten hold of Tracy yet, but I'm taking care of that.
Yeah, a guy called me and wanted to know Tracy's
Yeah.
number.
She wasn't home when I called. The camera guys are coming next week, because we have, Arky got up on the ladder and looked at one of the cameras that's kind of blurry, and he says it's full of moisture, so they're coming, and I'm getting them to put in the 2 cameras we've already paid for. I'm just thinking that maybe we should have one, what does that camera go, up to the thrift shop, that maybe we should have one either on the fire station or on the Historical Society, to take it up a little farther, to take the site up farther. I gotta see if they can do it, so then we'd have the whole of Main Street pretty much covered. And
Does that all come out of the police budget, or where's the funds for the camera come from?
police or my budget, yeah, Arky had already done it, the budget, and he had already paid for 2 cameras, and then they switched companies and we didn't get our cameras, so they're coming up sometime next week, I've already talked to them. I know that it's hard to get in here to sign bills, but last week on Thursday, he still didn't have 3 signatures for pay. I mean, he won't pay the bills if you don't sign. And the other thing is, the board really should sign, because that's where you see the actual money spent. You see every single thing and you say, hey, what's this? Or I didn't order that, or why is that, so
I signed them Thursday when I came in.
Maybe you came in after.
I didn't make a special trip Wednesday.
No, but maybe you came in after,
I came in to do it, I got talking with him and I was
Forgot.
here an hour and a half, I left, I never saw him.
I know, it's,
I got all the way
I know.
home and I said, oh, I didn't sign, that's the only week I haven't
I
signed
know.
them since I've been on
The thing
select
is
board.
that you, it's interesting to look at them, we should know, but it also, I suppose he could not pay your salary if he doesn't get 3, so that would affect everybody. I think he probably would,
Next
but,
week.
yeah, just try to remember that. And I wanna thank Arky, he's been great backing up the cameras and seeing when I call him. He's gonna meet with Sunray next week, and he's done a good job, and I wanna thank the town highway guys, as all the time I've been on this board, I'm probably the only one that asks you to do stupid little things all the time, and everybody always has been very good about doing it. Everything I've asked them to do, and Kyle, they're all the new ones and everything, and so thank you very much, because it saves us money, and it's.
Well, technically, I don't know, we're just highway, we're town employees.
I know,
right?
yeah, well, that's the way I look at it. I
That's
look
the way
at
I
it
look
that
at
way,
it, too.
and so it's good, because I've always, I have a little thing to do or to put in, and they're
You get
always
billed for
there.
it.
I know. I have paid in the past, and through grants, I paid $6,000 to have that equipment put in, but that's okay, it went into our town. And I just talked to Scott, I went to a cemetery meeting this week, the Center Cemetery, and we are responsible for all cemeteries, the town is. And we're lucky they have an association, because there's a big tree up there they're gonna have removed that's a couple $1,000s. I mean, we share that kind of. And Scott, I think today we were talking about some potholes up there, and he said he probably could smooth them out a little bit, so.
Which one?
The center.
Richford Center.
Is it center or south? Center.
Richford
South
Center.
Richford is,
Over by Snyder's.
I should go check that one. I always forget about that one. But we did fix some stones there a couple years ago, but because that association went out of business, and when an association goes out of business, it's the town's responsibility. And East Richford is full. You can't bury any more people there.
The town is not responsible for the Catholic cemetery, is it?
No, the Catholics are.
Right.
Yeah, but if the Catholic Church went out of here,
They can still bury people there, they just can't sell lots anymore.
you can bury them if they're cremated. That's what Tom Cook told me. He said no more
Yeah, if
No
you're
more
cremated,
lots.
you can get,
I mean, if you already have a lot there, yeah,
you can be 2 per lot.
but it's full, yeah, and you can
Yeah,
cremate.
they're not selling anymore
No,
lots,
no,
but if
we're
you
not.
bought one years ago,
Yeah.
my parents, they have
Where
one.
yours are there. I have a great grandfather there, but it's closed. Okay, that's me. I think that's it.
Jock?
Scott and I rode around one day last week, well, one afternoon, looking to see which roads needed to be paved, the worst ones. You only got one outfit, Pike came, waiting for 2 others to come and give us prices.
I actually got a call today from Whitcomb's. He's
You did?
supposed to be coming, yeah.
Okay,
So you're getting bids
yes.
Yeah.
for what is there
Well,
a?
the golf course one is a bad one, and different places up on South Richard South Richard Road to Montgomery is,
We got a class 2 paving grant that I applied for this spring from Gilmat Road to John Rowe Road. We're receiving $164,000 for that, our share of it.
That we're paying? Or we're
That
getting?
we're getting from
Getting.
the state.
Do we match it or what?
No, it's
You'll match to where?
John Rowe.
John Draw. When is,
We'll work off our share by
You'll do in
ditching and culverts and shoulder gravel. I'm gonna do the aprons on some of those roads, cause those are always a problem, leaving the South Richford Road, starting on the dirt roads.
yeah.
You can't grade them worth beans, it's hard.
that's where it goes over
Hard
to
to
Montgomery,
maintain.
right?
Yeah.
That was horrible last year.
Still is,
It's horrible
didn't get
this
any
year.
better.
It's horrible. Actually, it's worse or still bad beyond, but we can only do so
We
much.
can only go to Montgomery. Where does the South Richford Road start? At the bottom of the hill? And goes
to the Montgomery line.
to the Montgomery line. So that's the South Richford Road.
Yes.
But the South Richford Cemetery is over on Whiteman Hill.
Yes.
That's weird.
But it's just off from.
Well, it's all South Richford. That Four Corners is
South Richford.
basically South Richford.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then why do they call it the Richford Center Cemetery? Because it's the
Because it's
center?
in Richford Center. It's back this side of South Richford. That's Richford. Gilmet Road, McAllister Road, that Four Corners is Richford Center.
Center.
The other
But
four
South
corners
Richford
is
goes
South
before South Richford is before and after the center?
No.
What's to
South
Montgomery?
Richford Road.
South Richford's that way.
That's the South Richford Road, but Richford Center is basically
The cemetery,
the Four
right, the
Corners
Four
of the
Corners.
McAllister Road and the Gilmet Road.
Okay,
And South Richford is the Four Corners at Combs Road and
okay,
Previes Hill or Waitman Hill.
okay.
Anyways, I myself think if the golf course was paved, then maybe there'd be more members trying to go up there.
They've been
Play
busy,
golf.
they've been busy this week. I go up and check
Yeah.
once in a while. There's been a lot of cars there, which is good.
But no, if the road wouldn't be so rough,
Right.
then, no,
Right.
no, so most people would enjoy going up there a lot better, probably.
Yep,
We've only got a couple village streets that we can afford to pave. We gotta do something with Interville Avenue where we did the water line. And then we got the little street by Arnold Rush's. It goes from the golf course road up to Jeannie Clark's or whatever. That's getting
Oh, that-
bad, so you have a hard time to plow it.
What's
Figured
it-
while we're doing the golf course road there, right there.
Right.
They hate to move around very far when
Yeah, I
they're
know.
paving.
Mm-hmm.
so what's that called? That road, where
I
you,
think it's Hillside Terrace. isn't it?
Hillside Terrace, yes it is. So I can say you're gonna pave those?
But it's just to that, well, we've got prices, or they're working up prices for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna show all the contractors the same pieces of road.
Okay,
See what they come back with for prices.
okay, so you've been that out. Do you have a date I can put, is there a deadline date?
No, it's
okay.
just hard getting hold of some of them. I finally found another contractor to get hold of today. Found his number at least.
No, you did.
That it, John? That it?
Actually, North Avenue, Sunday night, I stopped in to see Brian there, and his problem is not going down St. Pierre's Drive, it's on North Avenue itself. So, maybe we can go look at it.
If you want it in the
see what we can
minutes,
do
you have to
there.
tell me more details if you want it in the minutes. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's got a water problem.
Who?
Brian,
Grand Champ.
yeah,
Oh, that's over there, okay.
North Avenue.
Yeah, that's been going on.
And I guess Johnny tried to make a hump in front of his driveway so water wouldn't run down his way, but there's nothing there. And he said that every time it rains, the water runs right down
Well, there's something
the
else going
section
on
of his
there.
driveway that's on North Avenue itself.
Check his sump pump. Yeah, it's been going on for a while.
Right. That's what he said.
Well, two sides, there's two sides to it. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I don't know what.
we'll look at it a little
Yeah.
more and
See what you can do, so that's road or,
Yeah, I guess.
he wants.
Complaining about the catch basin. there.
Yeah, he wants us to put a catch basin up higher than what his driveway is, but then you gotta cut them, dig in between water shut-offs and all that. That ain't really, the solution. It's only one person's problem.
I'll have to look at it. I still don't understand what the problem is.
well, we haven't for
Well,
the past several years.
He showed me there, he's even got pictures on his phone there. We'll go up and, someday we can go up and look at it.
Okay.
Now that I know what his problem is.
He was trying to explain it to me this weekend. I didn't really figure out what he was saying.
Right.
He didn't show me the pictures.
Well, you showed them to me.
You good?
Good for now.
Linda, you got anything on police, or we kinda already
I
talked about
covered it
that?
pretty much, and I'll take care of calling Roger tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes?
Sherry, lock is in the supply room door at the ambulance.
Nice.
I tinkered on it, it took me a while to figure it out, but I figured out how the lock come up right off the old handle. The old handle's now here with Alan.
Okay, cool.
You fixed the lock where?
The medicals, the ambulance supply room door.
Okay.
It's got the
in hallway.
digital lock now.
Okay.
Yeah, and have you been told that we have one door opener that is not working on our backup rig?
No. Which door?
One closest to Vista.
The battery is dead.
So that's not the one
Already
you
did
did
that,
any work
I took the other opener apart, put the code from the opener that was not working, tried it, the door does not go up or down with either opener, so there's something with the sensor or something like that.
Okay, it's not the same thing as the other one, because a few $1,000.
Yeah, so I figured I'd bring that to your attention.
Okay.
These mine.
We put
I think
that-
so.
we went to-
I'm thinking they're not mine.
We even went across the road. and bought
think
the-
mine are
we
there.
went across the road and paid for
Yes,
the batteries out of
I'm
my
gonna
pocket
start
for
cleaning it up.
both the openers. So
Okay.
we make sure they worked.
Okay.
So everything was taken care of, we tried everything. That's all I have.
Anyone else?
Wait,
Yeah, you're on the business now, or?
it's on guess.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to take my 5 minutes, please. First thing I wanted to ask is, do we have a policy of how we can go about making suggestions to the town select board without having to come to a meeting? Is there a way, a procedure, something I'm not aware of? How can we do that? That's my first thing.
Write a letter, maybe? I don't know.
Email.
Don't think we do have a policy.
First,
Email.
first of all, unless you come to a meeting, you're gonna have to contact every one of us one at a time.
Letter or an email.
Okay, I would just like to suggest to the board that consider, to make it easy for the people of the town to make suggestions, to be involved, and to encourage that somehow. In my time here, I have not particularly, it's very difficult for first to come and spend time at a meeting and then to get much time to discuss things. They're sometimes complicated, like this event with the ATVs went on for over half an hour. And I did 5 minutes, and I've got months of business to try to catch up. If there was a way that I could contact, that there's a policy and that everybody in the town knew we have a suggestion box. Stop in, drop in a suggestion. There just really needs to be I think, and be really helpful to the town and to the people to feel they're being heard and they have an outlet for things that they're important to them. Okay, so that, so following up on things I've suggested in the past, town calendar, over a year ago. I have not looked at the webpage recently. I certainly could do that, but I'd like to know some things, particularly what's going on in our town for the month. I'd like to plan ahead. I'd like to know when jobs come available, when bids come available. And I guess a lot of these things would be online, but I don't know. I really don't know what's there. I know it's been being worked on. I've heard that there's not much there, but in any event, there's a need. There's a need to know how can we connect without coming in and looking at a bulletin board, or to the bank or the post office. Not everybody has the ability to do that. Another thing regarding the policies is, how's the town making the appointments? I put in a request, I put my name in to be on the planning commission again. I stood before the town and I suggest that, write me in. I was not notified that I needed to notify the town so that my name would be on the ballot so that I'd have the opportunity to serve the town again on the planning commission. I put in writing to the town and I never heard anything back. Over 2 months ago.
You can read
Does that encourage participation? I don't think it does.
You can read the minutes.
Well,
Okay, well, just let me finish. Okay, I've got
Sure.
a couple more minutes.
Yep.
One of the most important things, I think, is that people in our town have an opportunity to see what's going on here. Now, from my understanding, and for me personally, I don't have Access 15. I don't have 16, 15, whatever it is. And the other thing about Access 15 is that you have the opportunity to see this just one time. And
Go
that's,
on YouTube.
Go on YouTube.
is it on YouTube
Yeah.
now? Is it on
Watch it
YouTube?
anytime you want.
Great, so every one of these is on YouTube, so we have a background, okay, great, I didn't know that. So, information is just really something I'd like to find out more about. Are there any town job openings right now?
Okay, I know.
We need somebody to plow sidewalks this winter.
For a winter job? Okay. Has the town considered a public relations person to help promote the town and promote small business needs and our real estate values in our community? I brought this up over a year ago too, and it was an interesting meeting. That's all I got to say about that when I brought it up. I called it something different. I called it a town manager, and I was told that, do you know what you're asking for? I said, I thought I did, but I really didn't, because I didn't realize I had to go through Montpelier to change the structure of our town to have a town manager. That's really not what I'm asking for you to consider. We need a public relations person, part-time, something to help promote our town. All these things that we're working on doing regularly. So I would like for you to consider that in your budget for next year, soon, to hire somebody that loves the town and wants to talk about it. I think that's all of us here, really. The reason really why I came here is because of the rail trail. These are other things, just old business, just kind of frustrations from 3 years of kind of coming and not wanting to come, honestly. So I'm very hopeful that the energy of the town will encourage our community, every single person, to be heard and to want to come and not to be stuffed in this room, quite frankly. This room discourages me, and I don't know if anybody else. It was hot as heck in here a while ago. There's just not enough oxygen, and there's not enough room. I think, just my opinion, but there's other places in town we could meet, I think, that will work better to encourage people in our town to come down. And they don't have to feel like they're going to stand at the door if there's important things, or that they're all going to be on top of each other. That's how I feel about this room. Okay. I went on to say that for a long time. I told Andy.
I tend to agree with you.
I just don't feel like we encourage the community to participate in our community government.
When we have a crowd,
Okay.
we go upstairs.
All right, so I'm done with my time. What I really came here for was about the rail trail behind my property. What is the contract that we have presently with, could somebody tell me, with the person or the group that's handling it? Can I see the contract? Do we signed a contract for somebody to, we have?
It's in my desk.
Is that just? Could I get a copy of that? I'd like to see.
Come
that.
over tomorrow, I'll make a copy.
Okay, great. That's pretty much where you say, hey, what is the status? Can I ask you what the status is? I think that's what we had a meeting a few months ago, right? There's a special meeting about it.
Did you get a letter in the mail from him?
No, I'd never received a letter, but I've been in contact with him.
Have you come to an agreement with her on what you're willing to take
this
for money?
is not about me right now. This is about what's going on. There was a meeting in the town.
That's where we're at with it. We're at the doors of the people who own the property, waiting to make deals with them on getting easements. That's
Great.
where we're at.
What I want to know is what happened 2 months ago when we had a special meeting called about the rail trail. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I saw
That's what he's talking about. It moved
Yeah,
on
I've
to
been
the
working.
You've been on that.
I've been
okay.
working with
What
her.
happened at that meeting? That's all I want to know. I couldn't go.
Oh,
Working
Was
on
it-
easements, right?
easements.
Yeah.
When
Was
you-
that at our regular meeting? Or
No,
was
we
there
had a special meeting.
Special
about it.
meeting.
We can't do nothing until we get all the easements back.
Do we have any? What's the
We have one,
progress?
we have one.
We have one. Good. Great.
Sign yours,
Waiting
we'll
for
have
you.
two, yeah.
Well, I need to. We need to discuss. I need to communicate. I just want to know where things were. Now, is this the contract also contract out the road work that's going to go in on the trail?
We can't do
Building-
that until we get the
things.
easements.
But is this person doing all of that?
Yes,
That's what I want to know.
yes.
Okay. What is our budget for all of this?
We pay her $15,000 out of the grant.
Out of the grant and our
Not
grant
her,
budget?
but her company, not company, where's she out of?
Northwest.
Northwest.
Are we taking bids for that?
For what?
For the work?
For the
Yes.
work?
Yes.
Okay, right now we're taking bids?
Not until we
Not-
get to
We
that.
have to get all the
Okay.
easements first.
All right, and then, how big is the grant that we're working?
$400-something thousand.
$400-something thousand. Okay, all right, that's pretty much it, I guess. Thank you so much. I'd like to get a copy of that tomorrow.
Come over and I'll
Thank you
do
for
it.
your time. I really am venting a little bit on you, and I don't think I'm the only one. I think we have to do this in our town. We gotta listen. We gotta listen when people aren't happy. Otherwise, they're not gonna wanna participate. And I'm not saying I'm not happy, but there are things I've been very disappointed and frustrated with.
So out of the
So-
10 things that you came here to vent about, which one would you want to see fixed first?
Well, when you bring up things in the past, you know, and nothing seems to have happened, it feels like I just wasted my time.
That's why I'm asking.
Okay, so
if we could
you're
fix
asking now-
something that you came here to ask us to fix, what should we start working on?
Well, that's a
first?
whole different story. Community, I think, in my opinion, I'm just an outsider. I'm a transplant here. 5 years now, I struggle with my property and my life, but community, and that's just a lot of little things, from my perception. From this room being too claustrophobic, not enough oxygen, it's hot.
The
And
flag
so-
is moving around, so we're getting there.
Yeah. But you know, there's just a number of little things. I think maybe just somebody who hasn't lived here forever, who's lived other places.
God, I'm cold.
Yes.
Who's a fan? I'm trying to get it on you, Michael.
All right, let me wrap up. I've taken almost 10 minutes. Thank you for your time very much. I do appreciate none of us are here except that we care about our town. We're not here for the money. And
Sure.
I certainly have not received any compensation for my volunteerism down by the river. I love to do it. I'm hopeful to see that become a beautiful place where people will love to stop for years and years to come. Then it gets a little better every year. So that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, look at that.
Thank you. Of all the things I'd like to see,
Getting back to the planning, you were on the planning.
I am?
You were on the planning, you didn't show up half the time, so take it from there.
that wasn't the question I was asking. I put it in.
You
for-
said you applied to get it back on the board, and same thing gonna happen again?
Anyway, I had put in there, I request to be considered for the planning commission as appointed, and I would never heard back from anybody.
Okay,
That was what I was talking
Can
about.
I just answer that? We had your name and two others?
Yes, was there appointments made?
Joanne
Yeah,
Daniel.
yeah, Joanne Danielle, and we appointed Joanne because of the fact that you didn't go to the meetings, I guess, and it was in the minutes of the meeting, so I guess we should have notified you.
There were a lot of
I
meetings that
thought
were
you were
canceled.
here.
There were a lot of meetings that were canceled. I never received anything in writing. I think it was very unprofessional, the way it was handled. Okay. But I think we can work better at building our community.
fault.
And the fact that he's saying what he is really interesting.
I say as it is.
Interesting as it is. But thank you very much. It's
Don't leave, because I want you to hear I got a little other business that you might
sure
be,
Interested in?
maybe. You didn't have anything, did you, John? I just wanted to say I skipped it on the chair part,
Yeah.
but that's why I had Melissa come. We got the town select board Facebook page going last night.
Nice.
We uploaded all the YouTube videos since March.
Since March 11th.
11th.
To current, all the
Current.
YouTube videos of the select board meetings are posted on the Facebook page.
March
It's-
11th?
Yes. It's Richford VT Select Board.
Wait a minute,
All-
Richford? I'm gonna put it in the minutes so we have it.
So
VT.
it's just
Just a minute, Michael, just a minute, let me get this, please. Richford VT,
Select Board.
that's it?
And
No
that's the
dots?
Facebook name for it, for the page.
Okay,
And so if you search that, from March 11th of this year to current, select board meetings are posted,
good.
along with the Rail Trail Roundup video that was just
Oh, yeah.
put on YouTube. And then the agenda for tonight's meeting is on there. It's still a work in progress page. I have it set to anything that's posted on that page to be approved through the admin, who's me. I can present it to the select board as well if I have concerns with it, or if it's what you want on there.
We all should look at
If
it.
anybody has pictures that they wanna share with it, it could be.
They also have to, they'll have to send a friend request.
I was gonna say, we have to be friends, right?
Well, she sent a lot of friend requests to random Richford people that were
Interested.
in her.
But that's just to notify people. I don't think you have to be a friend of the person.
You can
that
still read
admin.
it.
You can still
Good, I don't want,
search and
I
read
have
it.
20 friends, that's enough.
No,
Richford VT, Richford VT what?
Richford VT Select Board.
Select.
And we'll try every week
It's
if
accessible
anyone
to
has
public,
anything, if
so
you guys
anybody
think
can
anything
see
Wants to
it.
just
that
go
you
look
want
at
on
it.
there,
Yes.
Kim takes great
But
pictures.
to invite people, they would have to be friends
just
with
have them
admin.
text them to me or Melissa.
Anybody can view it.
She'll get it on there.
Now, Evan Mercy has a lot of old
Most of us
Richford Town
volunteer, Michael.
pictures.
To make people
That'd be cool.
aware.
That'd be really cool to post some of
That's what
those.
we do. We
Yeah.
volunteer, most of us volunteer.
Well, you can't run a town on
Because you used it in a
volunteers
number.
altogether, you know,
It's
you know,
working okay.
Select board is paid, but it's kind of like being a
Volunteer,
what you
yeah.
put in.
So, pictures, you can just send them to you, or is it a separate?
Anything.
Because Alan had those bees the other day that were attached to the side of them. And I'd love to have that picture on it. We had one in here.
Yeah, they're right here.
You got it? I mean,
Just text it or email it to me
you.
and I'll forward it.
Okay,
to
I
her.
can
She can put
email
them on
it.
there.
I mean, it's, those bees, they're upside down. Wait a minute. This is a swarm of bees that was attached to the side of the library. And Alan, I got another picture, Alan went home and put on his beekeeper outfit, and he got all these bees, he found the queen, and he got them all, and he took them up to his hives. There are thousands of bees in there.
He found the queen and took them away.
Well, yeah, because everybody was saying, oh, somebody's got to do something about the bees, Allison, don't touch the bees, and he went and got his hat on
And
there.
the bees went away after he took the queen out.
Yeah, they followed.
No, they followed him. He's got them all. He's got thousands of bees up in his
The
house.
Facebook page has
He's a beehive.
It
Yeah.
has the select board email, it has the town hall phone number,
Okay.
it has the address, so
Good.
anybody can contact any pictures, whatever.
Yeah.
You can
I'm gonna
receive
send
them
you this
through
one
email,
tomorrow, are you?
forward them to Andy, and I can
Yep.
post them on there.
I should, yeah, and I'll do the one of Alan too, because I just think that's really interesting.
It's interesting.
They just were on the tree by the.
I'm also gonna find out, I'm just gonna call them and ask them. I know they say if you have a town website, I feel a lot of people don't use the town website. I could be completely wrong.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. And I'm wondering, we
Look at the
pay for
minutes.
that.
Yeah,
But if you have a town website, you have to put the minutes
Right.
and the agenda on there.
Yeah.
But if you have a Facebook page, it's still an accessible page. I'm just gonna call Vermont League of Cities and Towns,
Find out.
ask them
Right.
if we have a Facebook page, can we post them there versus posting them on the website?
and then get rid of the website next year after the contract. Well, I think we were, if I recall.
I don't think a lot of people
I think
use it.
we were, no, I don't think so either, but I
There
think.
hasn't been a lot there though.
Can I just finish? But I think we were pushed by the state to have the website. I think that was the whole thing.
But this Facebook thing might be.
Might be a substitute, we can find out, yeah.
Yeah, if it
Find
does, that
out.
would work great.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they save money.
Yeah, but they did,
That's
that's
free.
the only reason we got it, because they pushed us to do
Yeah.
it. And there, we had a really crappy one, and this one we got actually is better than the other one.
And I feel if people are on their phone on Facebook scrolling down through and
Right.
they're
And they see
friends
that-
with the Richford,
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah.
see, you're just gonna see stuff on there that,
Yeah.
oh,
Yep, that's a good
They
idea.
follow the page.
yeah,
Good, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I know the fire department has one.
Thank you.
it's up and
Yeah,
going.
I think it's great.
It's up and going.
Okay. Can we adjourn?
No,
No?
you asked me earlier if you should bring something up.
Oh, yes, on other business.
But did you say a minute ago you had other business?
Yes, I forgot.
And then you got.
I do
Oh,
too.
yeah. That new building, that, your canoe shed, there,
Yes.
who's gonna be paying taxes on that? Is it gonna be Robert?
It's a grant.
It's
Oh, Robert is.
Robert is?
He said he didn't mind.
Oh.
It's in the plan of his zoning plan.
Okay.
Because I was gonna put it on our property, which is right next door.
Right.
But he said he didn't mind.
Hmm.
And what we're gonna do is not charge, but have a donation jar there. And I figure, since he's gonna do the insurance, well,
Right.
no, actually, the insurance, I called VLCT, and as long as we're not charging, they'll cover. they sent me a couple of release forms, so Robert will have them sign the release form when they come and borrow a canoe or a kayak.
Really, sign form, so he's not responsible.
Right,
for
or
it.
we aren't either. Yeah. So I got that all, yeah. I should have mentioned that, I guess. But yeah, it's on his
Okay.
tax. And I figure if the town goes away, he can have the building.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Yeah, and the last thing I had, I just wanted to mention that Alan has officially hired a replacement for Sheila as the assistant town clerk, who will eventually train to be the town clerk. It's Kylie Shawkat. Do so now, yeah. I think
Yeah, do so.
she's supposed to start sometime in July, I'm guessing.
Mid-July.
Mid-July. So I think the game plan is she's gonna train with Sheila
Sheila's
first.
leaving next week, but she'll come back and do some training.
And then once she learns Sheila's position, then she'll learn Alan's position.
Yep.
And we should probably get a gift for Sheila
Yeah,
from the select.
Yep.
yeah.
Anybody want to do that, or do you want?
I think so. I think we
I
should,
mean,
yeah.
Who's gonna do it?
Oh.
What are we getting?
That's what, well, I know, we probably don't want it on camera. We'll be
Yeah, we'll
surprised.
talk about it.
We'll
We
figure
should
it
do
out.
something for her.
We'll figure it out. I have a little fund I always put aside for these kind of things.
Okay. I leave it up to Sue.
To me, yeah, thanks.
I don't get out of Richford.
Food or-
Yeah, something down in Burlington. We'll find something. Say, Melissa, what's your last name? I've got it here somewhere.
What's that?
What's your last name?
Magini, M-A-G-I-N-I.
You're our website czar? What do you want to call yourself?
Facebook admin.
Oh, Facebook admin, okay.
Perfect.
Okay, now we can adjourn.
No other business, huh?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, adjourn at 9:30.